Hello, everyone.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good evening.
I just woke
Good
up, so
afternoon.
it's morning
That's
again to me. So
y'all. This is what Brandi looks like. Just waking up after a nap. Everybody.
y'all,
I
we were supposed
can't.
to come on at 7:45. So he texted me at 7:40, 7:41, 7:42, and it's like, are you okay? And I texted him back at 7:43. I was like, I'm so sorry, I just woke up. Let me get on right now. So
I got close to calling, but I was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want you to be like, you don't want to wake up and miss. You miss the final exam, and you're just like, oh no,
I
oh
know.
no.
I had about 2 or 3 hours of sleep, so I got in a quick power nap so that I could be alert and attentive for jury duty.
Yes, we're so attentive. We're constantly hitting the refresh button to make sure that we catch Lori Vallow's audio when it drops. We noticed that there was 1 or 2 people live streaming the audio, but we don't know where the heck they got it from. I don't know. Do you? I thought I had the hookups. Apparently not. So we're just gonna have some fun for a little bit until we refresh and boom, it's there.
I love this part. Yeah. I love when everybody is saying hi because I get so excited to see the highs because I'm like, oh, hey, y'all. I feel like it's like, like when you go to recess and you see your friends and like, you're like, oh, yes. hey, I haven't seen you since yesterday at recess. That's how it feels like when I see everybody saying hi. I get so excited.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite part about this group. I will say this. I've given in. I've got my LS Monster drink. I know. Oh man. It's gotten to that point. It has gotten to that point. So we'll do a nice little crack here. Yeah. And here's hoping I have one more. Right, I have one more in the fridge. So
that'll be for about halfway through trial tonight. So it'll be good.
Right. So let's see. So we had a video that was sent to us last night. That was sent to me by, I think, Brooklyn. Yep, sure did.
Hey, Brooklyn.
And it's Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie Boudreau, being arrested. Is it Melanie?
Oh, Boudreau, yes, this is the one we were talking about in chat. Yeah.
So that's definitely something we can do for sure tonight. I also have a couple of images that were. Yes, hello.
Sorry, squirrel.
Feel free to click on them as they come up. Yeah, for sure. But also Lisa Wilmot gave us a couple of funny images that I totally think is fantastic. Oh, this is a 34-minute video. That'll be interesting. But yeah, so we got a couple of things today. I think the easiest thing to start out with is just an image or two. So
one of the things that I wanted to take a second before we get into it, because I don't want to have to stop once we get into it, is the escorting out of our friend this morning. So there, and so she had reached out to. Let me back up. I'm still waking up and I'm not giving all of the words that make you understand where my scatterbrained mind is going with this. So this morning in trial, there was her name is Lori. She actually reached out to J.T. and I through Twitter, about a week ago, and said that she was in court every day. If, we wanted to get like any information or insider perspective or anything while she's there. So she had talked to us last week. Well, this morning, she was asked to leave the courtroom, and because they said that she was taking pictures with her phone, and now she says that she wasn't. So I wanted to pull up her Twitter.
You want me to pull it up?
Yes, if you could I was trying, but I'm
no
moving slow over here.
Oh Lord.
Her name is Lori Helis.
Thank you.
And she's an author, and she's a lawyer, and she actually wrote the Children of Darkness and Light, the Lori Vallow story. So that book. So she was actually sitting in the courtroom this morning, and they approached her and accused her of taking a picture. And so this was her story. I wanted to go over her tweet real quick. JT, you can read them. I don't have my old lady glasses on.
Okay, all right. So here's what she said. I'll use my best voiceover voice, which is not as good as Recovery Addicts, but we'll go with it. This morning I was sitting in the courtroom when a deputy approached me and asked me to step outside and bring my phone. This was before court started, as people were still coming in. The judge was not on the bench, and the jury was not in the room. I stepped out with the deputy, who told me he had a report that I had taken a picture of Lori in the courtroom. I later was told it was Jim Archibald who complained. That's Mr. Taxman. I did not take a picture and handed the deputy my phone. He confirmed that I had not taken any pictures in the courtroom. Despite that, a second deputy walked up and told me he was going to confiscate my phone as evidence. Yes, I was pissed. After further discussion, the first deputy allowed me back in the courtroom with my phone. When someone asked me what happened, I told them. The deputy then pulled me out a second time and told me I had made a disruptive comment by telling someone what had happened. This was while people were still milling around and court had not started. I said I wouldn't say anything more. He sent me back to sit down. A few seconds later, the judge came on the bench, said I had disrupted the proceeding, and had the deputy escort me out. I was told I could remain in the overflow viewing area, where I stayed until the noon break. At that point, the court administrator came in and asked me to leave the building. She said I could return tomorrow if I wanted to meet with the judge. I have a meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m. I hesitate to say more, but it feels personal.
Yeah. So I wanted to, because when we hear it, we're going to, listen and be like, oh my gosh, what are they talking about? And so I wanted to get her, because you know how internet is anyway. So you're going to hear a million different versions of things, but I wanted to get her side of, what happened and what she said. So I was interested in that. So I'm actually very interested in hearing how the judge addresses it as well.
Well, I mean, I am too. I think either way, it's important for me to say I object to your portals. These two things are Lisa Wilmot, and she says credit to the Pink Ladies too. But she shared these on the Discord today, which we'll drop a link in, if you want to join as the gavel drops. But she did this one, and then she did this one as well, and boy, did it make my day.
It makes you look like a whore.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
I love when people submit things. It makes me so happy.
Oh my gosh, if we could get that with him with his ukulele, like him going into a portal with his ukulele. Oh gosh, I need to learn how to work the Discord stuff. Yeah.
When we're not trying to get ready for the show or doing the show or recovering from the show, I totally can walk you through it.
Yeah. In all of our spare time.
Right.
In all of our spare time.
Yeah, Ivan, I don't know if I'd give up personal property either. Although me being in that situation, I'd probably just turn into like that really guilty feeling, like old Catholic young schoolboy that I used to be, and be like, okay, I guess this is all right. Sure. Oh gosh. We are trying something new tonight. And that is burnerish phone. It goes through Google Voice. So that's not my number. So please, you can save it as 13th juror. But what we do have is I do have Google Voice open, and so you're welcome to try and give us a call, and we'll try it out and see what happens. Just remember, keep it clean, but still have fun, right? I think that's fair. I mean, we're a little loose at night, but not that loose.
But I'm not like like portals and zombies loose.
Right. No.
We're still on the light scale, not the dark scale.
We sure are.
For now.
I think. Yeah, right? I'm kind of like in that sunset time,
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all right.
it
We
should.
have more people here tonight too. Hi, Strawberry Queen. Strawberry Queen says she's new subscriber. I am loving seeing the new people, and I
Me too.
am. And so when I just wake up, my eyes are a little bit blurry. So if y'all see me like this, trying to see y'all's names, then that's why. And I don't know where my old lady glasses are, but I'm loving seeing all the new people saying hi that are here for the first time too.
I will say that day 6 just dropped. So that's good.
Are we ready?
Oh, we got a call.
Oh, dang.
Call from
Recovery addict.
It's a celebrity.
1. To send a voicemail.
Oh, hey.
Press 2.
I have to accept it.
It's like a jailhouse
Did I
call.
accept it? This is 13th juror.
Yes, I'd like to make a complaint.
Call another portal.
Great. I'd never do that.
What?
No, I'm super excited though. No, this is awesome. I can't wait to hear. I really want to hear you guys. I've got you. I can only hear.
I'm having. Boy, this Google Voice thing is not as great as I thought it was going to be. And it is not on you. I'm hearing some random noises.
I'll like to play with it, and I'll call back another time. But,
That
super
sounded a
excited for
little-
tonight's show.
All right, we're going to
Thank you
play
very
with
much.
it. We'll play with it. Thank you.
How is it
You
the only
called
thing we
first.
heard was that you have a
First kid.
complaint?
Bye. That was weird.
No, it all went downhill after the complaint part. But just
did.
so y'all know, that's what happens when you
That-
call with a
that-
complaint.
That is what happens. That is what happens. I will try and fix this. So ignore that phone number for now. And while I fix it, and I know we're gonna hop right on into the stuff, into the information, but here we go. Here's a little bit about for those of you who are joining, if you're interested, Brandi, do you want to talk a little bit about this connection?
Yeah.
I know and then we'll kind of hop into the audio.
Yeah, so this is not the entire shebang. So the entire shebang will make your eyes go cross-eyed. So I kind of started out with like a little bit of a smaller, who's who based on who's testified so far. So that's what this is. And then we'll add more people in. Like after today, we'll add Colby in because he's testifying and stuff like that. So the fellow with the ukulele is Mr. Chad Daybell. And the blonde beside him pretending that a ukulele, her ukulele husband is charming, is Lori Vallow, who is, of course, the trial that we're listening to. So the pictures that are in this, we've had Charles Vallow was her husband who her brother actually shot and killed. His sister is Kay Woodcock. And that's Kay Woodcock is also JJ's grandmother. So JJ is one of the victims that Lori's on trial for right now. If you go to the bottom picture, that is Brandon Boudreaux. Oh, I spelled his name wrong on there. I'm just now seeing that. Well, I don't even have my old lady glasses on, and I just saw it. It's missing an O. But anywho, Brandon Boudreaux is he testified on the first day, and he was married to Lori's niece, Melanie. And Melanie was one of the ones who kind of was involved in the whole doomsday cult thing. And he said that he kind of watched her go a little bit off the deep end. I'm paraphrasing. But he witnessed that whole thing, and it ended up leading to their divorce. And then the other is Alex Cox and Zulema. Now, Alex Cox is Lori's brother. And when we start today, I believe we're starting with Zulema's cross-examination, right? I think that's the first. I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
I think she was done with direct. So I think we're starting with her cross.
Yes.
So we will hear from her today. And she says, so much. But so we had some jokes going on in the chat last time about that. And then, of course, the other one is Tammy Daybell. Tammy is the wife of Chad Daybell, who they originally said died of natural causes, but after all of this stuff started coming out, they did a little bit of an investigation. They exhumed her body, and she turns out she died of asphyxiation. So she is also one of the victims listed for this specific trial. So that's your little who's who. so far.
Yay! So far. So far. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop into the beautiful audio, and I'll as I've been doing, I will definitely be bringing up different photos in the timeline and the people who are testifying, and we'll go from there. So, and I've got it marked already at 1.25. If we all seem to be happy with the 1.25 at least. If we need to go forward for faster, we can. So awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're really happy. Hit the like button if you can. That'd be awesome. And then subscribe too. That's cool too. And I won't say that too many times because good grief, we'll be listening to this the whole time. So here we go.
We'll go on the record. KCR 22-21-1624, State versus Lori Noreen Vallow. This is jury trial scheduled today, continuing with the state's case in chief. Is the state going to be ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Morning. Is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. I'll note that all counsel is present. The defendant is present as well with her attorneys. Before we get started, I will reiterate there's a conduct order in effect in this case. The conduct order prevents any use of any device to record, photograph, or transmit sounds or images from the courtroom. I'll also note that the conduct order in paragraph 2D indicates any activity or behavior which is considered disruptive may result in removal from the courtroom. We're starting our proceedings late this morning because we do have a participant here that's caused a disruption in our courtroom proceedings based on their conduct. I've talked to the bailiffs about that.
Somebody's portal opened up.
I don't think it's me, but I'm going to make sure that it... Nope, not me.
Somebody's portal.
Uh-oh.
All right. Thank you for sorting out that technical issue.
Nope.
Anyway, I had a sidebar with counsel also with their observations, talked to courthouse security, and so I am going to request at this time that the bailiffs remove this person from the courtroom for the proceedings today based on their conduct. So I'm not going to name the individual by name, but I am going to require that they be removed from the proceedings today for disrupting the courtroom. So bailiffs, if you could please identify that person and have them exit the courtroom at this time, I'll enforce that.
That would be it, right?
Order.
Yes. This is Lori Helis.
They literally just started this. Like, what? Somebody.
Which is also why I wanted to go over this, because it's like the first thing. And I was like, everybody's going to be leaving us to go Google this. So
I'm not a huge fan. Like, I see the whole, like, I have to be difficult, but also, like, there's so far to go. You can't go that far. Oh, boy.
All right. I very much appreciate the bailiffs in maintaining courtroom order for this trial as it goes forward, and as they've done so up to this point. We'll continue to strictly enforce the courtroom conduct order. I also appreciate counsel advising the court of what was observed this morning, requiring that person in attendance to be excused. So with that in mind, we are ready to proceed with this. We'll have the jurors brought in, and then just to clarify with the state, is Ms. Pastenes going to be continuing on the stand this morning?
Yes, I believe we're in the defendant's cross, so she is in the witness room just waiting.
Okay, thank you.
Georgia.
So let's have the jurors brought in.
You're my old neighbor. Athens, Georgia. I'm from Walnut Grove. Nobody's ever heard of Walnut Grove.
Let it be known that it was Google Voice that was making odd noises, not RA. Let me just clarify now. Do I need to create a banner for that? That's a far way away. I didn't know we could make it that far.
Georgia. I'm from Georgia. I'm in Florida now, but I'm from Georgia.
It doesn't sound like you're from Georgia.
What? Oh, look, when I heard that cocktail, I was trying to mimic it. I can't do a New York accent. I tried.
Oh, thanks, Martha Lee. Boy, this
I
is...
love RA.
You think they'd figured this out by now, huh? I believe you.
Life of Bailey knows Walnut Grove.
I didn't think you were. but you never know when the outhouse comes to call.
No judgment.
No judgment. I don't judge.
That is the name of it. But Walnut Grove, Georgia there was one. It was a stoplight. Now it's a red light. They're getting big, y'all. And there was a liquor store on one side, a gas station on one side, and then a barbecue place on the other side. And the barbecue place still to this day will take cash and checks, but not cards.
Sounds like that's a good barbecue place. All right, let's figure out when this starts.
I miss me some barbecue.
She just umming her way through.
How are you doing today?
Oh, there we go.
I'm fine.
Good.
Thank you.
Just a little bit of housekeeping. I wanted to know if over the weekend you were able to speak with the prosecution or anybody from the prosecution team.
No, sir.
Hey, Laura.
Did you have a chance to review any of your notes or any of your files regarding your testimony?
No, sir.
Okay. When we were talking a little bit on Friday, we talked a little bit about a number of things. One thing that kind of bothered me over the weekend as I was going through the testimony was your relationship with Alex. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. So you first started dating Alex on October 31st, 2019. Is that right?
We went on a first date in August of 2019.
Okay. I believe you said, you testified that October 31st was the first time that you had went on a date with him. So apparently I'm mistaken. So tell me a little bit about what happened in August.
In August, we went out to dinner. What I testified for around that happened on I'm sorry, on October 31st. But that was the first time that we ever kissed or that we ever held hands.
Okay. So between August, going out to dinner, and October 31st, that was August of 2019, right?
Correct.
Okay. So how many times did you date between August and October 2019?
That's right. How many times was she married? This was her sixth?
Just a couple times.
A couple more times between August, the first time you went to dinner, and the first time you kissed him was on October 31st.
Correct.
Okay. And had you talked on the phone with him between August and October 31st? Was that something that you guys did
Yes.
quite frequently or not really?
I wouldn't say quite frequently, but frequently.
Okay. And what kinds of things were you talking about?
We talked a lot about scriptures. We talked about talks that we had read. We talked about our families. We were just getting to know each other.
Just getting to know each other?
Yes.
Okay. And then between October 31st and November the 7th, was the first time you kissed was October 31st. And then what happened in that week between October 31st and November 7th? Were you together? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Okay. I was just going to try to clarify a little bit. Was there anything significant? Were you seeing each other every single day between October 31st and November 7th?
No, that would have been impossible because I was in Arizona and he was in Rexburg, Idaho.
Okay. And my understanding is that on November the 7th is when he presented you with an engagement ring. Is that right?
Correct.
And was that in Rexburg or was that in Arizona?
In Rexburg.
We sped up.
Okay. So you came up to see him on November the 7th?
Correct.
Okay. Were you there for that purpose or were you there for a conference or for some other purpose and you just happened to meet up with him?
No, I came specifically to spend time with him.
Okay. So he gives you an engagement ring. Had you guys talked before that time between the kissing a week earlier and getting the engagement ring? Did the two of you talk about the possibility of getting married?
Yes. Alex was very clear that he was looking for a relationship and he wanted to get married.
And when did that come up? How did
next
that come about? When did that come up?
Hey, Donna.
I'm pretty sure that he actually talked about it the first time we went out to dinner.
The first
he
day?
wanted to have a relationship and he wanted to be married and he wanted a relationship.
Okay.
All that grease
And
light.
did that intrigue you? Did that frighten you? Was that kind of like, Awkward? What was that like?
Hey, Matthew Harrislaw. Thank you.
I really don't remember if I had any reaction to what he was sharing.
Okay. What about on November 7th when he actually gave you the engagement ring? Were you, was that a surprise? Was this something that you had thought about, that he had thought about?
I was not surprised. He had told me that he was looking for a ring, and he had asked for my ring size. So I was not completely surprised that was going to, that happened on that day.
And when did he ask you for your ring size?
I was about, it was during the few days before I came up to
Okay.
Rexburg.
So sometime that first week of November?
Probably, yes.
Okay. And so then you got the ring. And how long did you spend in Rexburg? On the 7th, you were obviously there on the 7th. So what other days were you there? Do you remember?
It was also a short trip, so I think that it was only like 2 to 3 days.
Okay. And did you go back home to Arizona?
Yes.
And did Alex go back home to Arizona?
No, he stayed in Rexburg.
He stayed in Rexburg. And so when was the next time you saw him physically in person?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? So that would have been around the 23rd, 24th, something like that?
I don't remember exactly the day, but it would have been around the end of November, yes.
Okay. And then you
That's a
saw
deal
him
breaker.
that weekend for Thanksgiving for the whole weekend?
Yes, he stayed at my house.
Okay. And was that did he come up on a Wednesday for Thanksgiving Thursday, or when, do you recall when that was?
He came on Wednesday.
Okay. And did he stay through the weekend?
Yes.
Did he go back home after that?
No.
No, he stayed with you the whole time.
Yes.
Okay. So he comes up on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then at some point you guys get married, right?
Correct.
And that was on December the 1st?
He hasn't come up yet. They're finishing this cross.
I don't want to give you the wrong
He's next, I think.
date. But I believe it was that.
It was your wedding day. You remember your wedding day, right?
I wish I could tell you that I know exactly the date, but there has been so much trauma around that date and all of the events that happened during that time that at times it is very hard for me to remember certain things,
Okay. All right.
especially the ones that I would like to forget.
Okay. And when you say you like to forget, that would be, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is that the death of Alex?
That and among many others, yes.
Okay. What other things are traumatic with Alex during that time frame?
Objection relevance
Yeah.
in my headspaces.
It's like this one time in Vegas.
The
Right?
fact that I went to work early on December 12th and Alex was fine. And when I came home, Alex was laying on the floor of my bathroom, dead.
Oh,
And then the paramedics came and they started working on him. And then they took him to the hospital, to the emergency room. And they worked on him for about an hour. And they brought me back into the room where he was connected to machines and they were doing CPR on him. And then after many efforts to revive him, I had to give the okay to have the machines turned off. That
Lori's
is very
brother.
traumatic, sir.
Right. And I understand that. And I'm not trying to be callous or anything. And I said, other than the death of Alex Cox, was there anything else that was traumatic during that time? That's all I was getting at. Was there anything traumatic that happened to you between your wedding and when Alex passed away?
I hear that.
Not that I can recall.
Okay. So you started dating in August and he passed away in December. So you've got some of August, September, October, November, and part of December. So 3.5, maybe 4 months that you really knew him. Is that right?
Hi, Franklin.
That I knew him personally, yes, in that.
Okay. My question is, and my problem is that you made a statement to the prosecution that Alex would do anything for Lori, and you knew that with some sort of a surety. And so I guess my question is, how is it that you knew him between August and December, and you knew this much about him, and you didn't really spend that much time with him? So is it maybe possible that you didn't know him that well, and that maybe he wouldn't do anything for Lori?
All of a sudden, Lonely Island comes in and do the creep. Ah,
I would have to disagree on that. And the reason why I have to disagree on that is because of the way that Alex expressed himself whenever he wanted to do something or make a decision on something. He felt that he always needed to have Lori and Chad's, per se, permission or okay. And to give you a couple examples of that would be when Chad told him in a blessing that he was going to be moving to Rexburg and that he would be one of the warriors in Rexburg. The following day, he took a plane and came back to Rexburg with Chad to immediately come and check out the area. And he eventually moved up here. The other significant reason why I say that is because after we got married, we were talking about how we were going to.
They said it was natural causes. It was blood clots in his
I already told him that I was
lungs
not
or
going
something,
to
I
move
think.
to Rexburg, and that my family, my work, my life was in Arizona, and he
Not annoying at all.
He was at the time still had all his stuff and living in Rexburg, and so we were discussing on how we were going to, what we were going to do, and he said, "Well, before I make any decisions, I need to ask Chad and Lori what I should do."
So he was asking for some advice, right?
I will call it direction, sir.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hand you what's been marked as defense
Yeah,
exhibits
lung.
A and B.
Okay, what else could cause that though? We have like nurses and doctors and
I'm sorry,
stuff
Council, you
like
did
that
give
in
us a
here.
copy. Which one you're giving them both?
A and B, yeah.
Okay.
What else that's not natural could cause that? I'm curious because, you know.
Can you identify what I just handed you?
Thank you, Diana. I love y'all too.
It looks like there are copies of texts between Chad and me, and the other one appears to be between Lori and I.
Mm-hmm. Do you recall testifying at the grand jury?
Yes.
Do you recall identifying these specific documents as being text messages between you and Chad and you and Lori?
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
So they don't appear to be what they are. I mean, they are those text messages, right?
Okay, yes.
You previously identified them?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I think an air bubble could cause.
So I'd like you to turn to Exhibit A, page number 17.
I'm trying to think of,
Judge, just for the record, can we have these identified in the date range? The state isn't going to object to their admission, but could we have a little bit more description of A and B on the record so that the witness and jurors know what she's looking at?
Yeah, so for starters, Mr. Thomas, are you moving to admit A and B?
I am moving to admit A and B, Judge.
All
They
right,
were previously
I understand.
admitted they were previously admitted in the grand jury.
And the state's indicated no objection. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So
Thanks, Franco.
Defendants Exhibit A and Defendants Exhibit B are both admitted. And then Mr. Thomas, just a request to identify specifically where in the admitted exhibits you're going. So if you do that, please.
Sure. Ms. Pastinas, I'd like you to turn to Exhibit A, which is an extraction report, Cellbrite report. And I'd like you to turn to page 17. It would be item number 224. And I'd like for you to read for me and for the court what the text message says.
He says, "Hello, Chad. I
me
had
honest.
a conversation with my
Keep me
daughter,
honest.
Kara, today, and it didn't go well. She doesn't want to go to Rexburg, and she feels like I'm abandoning her if I leave
Not yet.
without her. I feel really bad right now. I had a prompting the other day to ask you if you could see who she was before in this life. She may be able to start seeing truth. I was told this week that I will go to Rexburg eventually, but not right now. So I just need to prepare for when that eventually is. Thank you for always being there for me. I'm so grateful for you."
And what was the response on number 225? This is Chad speaking to you, right?
"Thank you, Sulema. I will find out about Kara. I agree with you about Rexburg, not immediately, but eventually. I'm so grateful for you too. Let's talk soon."
So in 224, you said, "I was told this week that I will go to Rexburg." Do you recall seeing that?
"Eventually, but not right now."
Okay. I guess what I'm asking is, you're saying that Chad told you, and I'm asking who told you.
During this time, I was quite confused. I have to tell you the context of this because otherwise it gets taken out of context.
That's what we're trying to do.
During this time, Lori and Chad were really pushing me to move to Rexburg, and they continued to do that throughout this whole entire time. Chad had even given me blessings telling me that I needed to move to Rexburg. It didn't make sense to me to move to Rexburg since I didn't have anybody there. Didn't have my life, my job, my family was not there. And they continued to push me. And I really, really trusted these people. I trusted that they said that they were who they said they were. Chad said that he didn't have a veil, that he could see to the other side, and that he was constantly being guided by angels and by other heavenly beings. Lori had said that she had conversations with Jesus Christ. I trusted them. It was very hard for me during this time, and I was very confused. So I started praying and asking if I could have an answer of myself of what I needed to do. And during one time when I was praying, I heard this exactly how it is here. You will go to Rexburg eventually, but not right now. And I knew that was my answer. That eventually could have been any other time, but not at that time.
So it wasn't Chad pushing you, and it wasn't Lori pushing you. It
Oh,
was the
yes,
Lord,
they were, sir.
It was the Lord telling you, right? You prayed about it, and this was your answer?
Maybe.
I'm going to repeat that.
Just yes or no.
Chad and Lori.
No, I'm sorry. Yes or no?
Judge, I'm going to object. If you would allow the witness to answer, she's trying to answer his question, but he cuts her off.
Well, in that aspect, it was a yes or no direct leading question or a leading question. So you can re-ask your question if you want, and the witness doesn't necessarily get to go into further detail if it's just a yes or no question.
So yes or no, did you pray about it?
Yes.
And yes or no, did the Lord tell you that you would eventually go to Rexburg?
Yes, but not right now.
Okay. So it wasn't Chad and Lori who were pushing you to go to Rexburg?
Yes, sir, they were.
Okay.
And every blessing they gave me.
Apparently we're gonna have to do this a different way. All right, let's turn to page 1 of Exhibit 59.
Defendant's Exhibit A. You're right.
I'm sorry.
Your Honor.
Defendant's Exhibit A.
Just making sure.
Apologize.
Thanks.
And I'd like you to read item number 5.
Hopefully they have better reception than I did.
I woke up this morning and the first thing I heard was, "I have made you mine," and it was a man's voice.
Sorry. So for our court reporter, if you can read a little more slowly on those texts, please, that'll help the record stay clear. Thank you.
Yours was caught up by those heavenly
The
beings.
first thing I heard was, "I have made you mine," and it was a man's voice, not my voice. I believe I'm on the right path and I'm getting closer. I feel so much better today than in the past week. So all you did for me worked. I'm starting to feel myself again.
And this is from you to Chad, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now please turn to page 5. item number 57. This is you talking to Chad again, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you read item number 57?
I have a couple of questions for you. Do I have a calling and election made sure? Will I have a calling and election made sure? Will I have a second comforter? Do I look after these things? And ... How will I know when and how to go to the temple when the call out happens?
And that text message was on January 24th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you sent him another message a minute later, starting with the Lord has placed a new yearning. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and read that one?
The Lord has placed a new yearning in my heart. It's so
left
beautiful.
now.
I only want to read, study, learn, go to the temple and serve him. I'm really leaving the world behind. He's telling me there's no time. He's telling me there's no time for anything else. So I have questions come up as I study and go to the temple.
Was that another cell?
Okay. And that's you talking to Chad, and then Chad answers you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that is a couple of hours later. And what does he say to you? Can you read that?
I am so excited for you, Sulema. You're on the right path. As a multiple creation person, you have already received your calling and election, as well as the second comforter. I know you have a close relationship with the Savior, and that's what those really mean. Don't worry, you will know when to gather. I actually feel you'll be among the first people to gather to the safest white camps. You're part of the team! !
Okay. And this next one, number 60, is you responding to that. Can you read that?
Been there.
I just got chills all over my body reading your text. That's the reason why the voice came to me saying, I have made you mine, because he already had ! Or, oh, it's so amazing! !
So when you're talking about I have made you mine, that's
Oh my gosh.
what you just talked about earlier. Is that right? When you woke up in the morning and he said, a male voice said, I have made you mine.
Correct.
Okay. So you're talking about the Lord talking to you directly?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm curious, is your sister still in there? Was she able to get away?
If you're comfortable sharing,
If you're not,
that's fine.
ignore.
That's a lot.
Were there
But that
times
makes me so
when
curious.
you called Chad or called on Chad to heal you from some pain or some spiritual binding or something to that effect?
Yes.
Okay. And was one of those times right around Christmas, right after Christmas 2018, when you had a shoulder issue? Do you recall that?
No, I don't recall that.
Okay. Would you please turn to page 3? It will be item number 23. It should be the top of the page.
Yes.
Can you go ahead and read that? That's you talking to Chad, right? Or you
Coke
texting
Mama,
Chad?
I love it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Merry Christmas! I hope you had a beautiful time with your family. Could you tell me if I have weapons on my back? I think I'm being attacked again.
Okay. What did you mean by that?
Nicely done, sir.
Lori and Chad always taught that when you had any kind of physical pain or any emotional thing like depression or anything like that happening with you, that it was usually it was attack from the dark side, and that it was usually evil spirits attacking your body or your emotions.
And did you believe that?
I did.
Okay. And this particular occasion, you felt like you were having some sort of attack from the demons in your back.
Yes.
Okay. And did this resolve on its own, or did Chad do something to resolve that for you spiritually?
I don't recall this. So
let's keep reading.
Okay.
Let's do number 24 on that same
He
page.
said, let's keep reading.
Go ahead.
Hi, Sulema. I have captured and sealed away the evil spirits that were attacking you, and I have removed the weapons from you. I am healing the damage.
Okay. And did you feel like that actually worked, or do you think that was just hocus pocus?
Hey, don't besmirch hocus pocus.
there were times when Chad would say that he was doing some kind of energy work or some kind of taking all those spirits away, that I would actually feel better afterwards.
And this was one of those times, right?
Like I said, I don't recall this this conversation. So
Okay, let's
it's
read
possible.
let's read number 27 on that same page. This
Oh
is
my-
you talking to Chad on a text.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I can move my shoulder blade now! Exclamation mark. Thank you! Exclamation mark.
Okay. And the first text was at 9:06 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And the text that you said you could now move your shoulder blade was at 9:22 p.m., correct? Okay. So in that 15-minute span, you feel like you were healed?
I felt better. Apparently, yes.
She said apparently.
Apparently.
Did Chad or Lori ever
So.
tell you to hurt anyone spiritually?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Your work was always for the good, for light, right?
At the time, I believed it to be so, sir. Yes.
But somehow, after that time, you now believe that you were working for the dark side or for darkness or evil?
With a wrench.
At the time, I believed that we were doing something good to help get rid of darkness and evil spirits off of the earth. Now I believe that the intentions were different and very evil.
So your intentions were different and very evil?
No, sir. I believe that Chad and Lori's intentions were very evil.
He tries to
They're
twist
telling you
stuff.
that they loved you, that you were doing such a great job, that you were turning away these evil spirits, those kinds of things?
No, but the benefits with the cookies are
No, sir.
fantastic.
I don't believe that. Those things that they were saying were evil, manipulative, most definitely.
No commute.
But
Go right to
those
your
things
portal.
were not evil. The result of all of this was, yes.
And we'll get into the result a little bit later. Let's move on to page number 9.
Somebody did a couple days
Item
ago.
number
yes.
108.
It was a lot. Like 400 or something.
This was you texting Chad.
It was worse on Friday.
Can you read that for me?
Hi, Chad. How are you? I wanted to tell you I've been given a new weapon of light fire. I'm practicing and using it. I used it this weekend quite a bit to heal the girls when they were attacked. I was attacked a lot this weekend. A lot! Exclamation mark. I'm using the fire to heal me, but I still feel my body in pain and worn out. Can you please do some healing on me?
So tell me what light
Yes.
fire is.
I'm trying to find the words to explain that.
There aren't.
It
There
is
aren't
like
There are no words.
it is like imagining in your mind and with the intention of having a very like a light aura that perhaps has some fire around it, and putting it around somebody or some kind of wound
Meets their
to
needs.
help it heal.
So light fire is a healing weapon that you had.
At that time, yes.
Okay.
at that time.
And
Power
who gave
Rangers.
you that healing weapon?
I've retired now, but at the time.
I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't even recall this conversation. I'm sorry.
Do you ever recall using light fire?
I
Yes,
want
I
the
do.
transcripts of this.
You always used it for good.
You only used it for good.
You always
You
used it
used
for
fire for
healing
good.
purposes.
For healing purposes and during the castings as well.
And during the castings out of evil spirits.
Correct.
Okay.
The transcripts. Oh, Did you only use your firepower for good?
This weekend, my team and I were talking a little bit about your testimony, and there was some debate as to whether or not.
Objection to the commentary, Your Honor.
Kind of fire.
Okay. Do you have a portal in your home?
No, sir.
Have you ever had a portal in your home?
No, sir.
Okay.
Twisted fire starter.
Can you please turn to page 10?
He snuck that in there too. This weekend, we were talking about you,
Item number
and
126.
we all think this. He snuck that in.
This is you speaking to Chad or texting Chad.
He's
Is that
probably
right?
proud of himself too.
Yes.
What's the date on that?
April 8th, 2019.
Can you read that for me?
I would love that. I want to
Yes.
see if you could help me create a portal at home to get answers at.
Okay. So do you recall asking Chad about how to make a portal or how to help you create a portal at home?
I don't recall saying that, but it's there. So yes, I did ask him.
So you asked, but you never had a portal at your house?
No.
Okay.
I didn't either. I didn't know it was a combo package. I didn't know it came with it.
Got like a blender and crap like that.
You recall
Got
doing
a
some
blazer.
castings out of demons with Lori and some of the other women that were in your small group, correct?
Correct.
And one of those castings out
Vicious
was
guilt.
a demon by the name of Garrett. Is that right?
Correct.
And you didn't cast him out by yourself. There were some other people in that particular prayer meeting. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh my God.
And you specifically asked that this demon be released from its
Only it was
host
that
or its
easy.
body, right?
Correct.
And did that actually happen?
Nan R. We're thinking.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No. And the reason why I say that is because Lori always had to check with Chad to ask if it had been done correctly or not. And then she would say, yes, it was done, or no, it was not done. But it wouldn't be something that I would know whether it was done or not. So we would get confirmation from Chad.
This is why we have to listen with other
And
people.
did you get confirmation from
It's true.
Chad that this entity had left
I'd get put
Charles
away. I'd be
Vallow?
laughing at
Yes.
myself.
And so that was a successful casting?
According to them, yes.
Well, what about according to you?
Lazy. Leah Baker
walked
Chad's
up
portal
your
was
boat.
on his bed.
I
That's
didn't
not a
know
joke.
whether
That was really
was
where he thought his was.
done correctly or effectively, or if we had cast out a evil spirit or a demon. I only had faith that they were telling us the truth.
So you never had faith that any of your castings had ever actually come true? You never knew with a surety, I guess.
Objection. Can the witness be allowed to answer?
Yeah, I will sustain that. She was in the middle of an answer, Mr. Thomas.
Okay.
I personally didn't have a confirmation that those evil spirits or demons were cast out. I trusted and believed what Lori and Chad were saying that had happened as a result.
She
Okay.
didn't get confirmation that
and
it
then
worked. That the demons
This
were out.
particular demon left Charles Vallow, and there was another demon that went into Charles Vallow. Is that right?
That's what Lori and Chad said, yes.
But you didn't
Like they
think
sent a
this was true?
confirmation email.
I believed what they said, yes.
Okay. So you thought that another demon was in Charles as well.
Yes, I believe them.
Okay. And
Bless their hearts.
Charles passed away on what day? Do you recall?
Sure do.
July 11th,
Okay. And that was in 2019.
yes.
Do you recall what you were doing that day in the morning?
I was at temple.
You were at the temple? Okay. Can you turn to page 5 of exhibit B?
I still want to know what kind of confirmation she was expecting to get that her casting got the demons out.
Can you turn to number 69 and 70, and can you read those?
Well, they've got a.
I'm on my way to the temple.
E-reader and
I'll be in the celestial room.
So 69 is I'm on my way to the temple, and 70 is I'll be in the celestial room, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall what you were doing?
Objection, Your Honor. Can we just have since we switched exhibits, can we have the to and from so that puts these in context, please?
With switching exhibits, I do think, indicate who these communications involve.
Okay. Exhibit B is an extraction report. If you'll turn to the front page, is that correct? To the front page 1?
Yes.
And the participants are 564 806 929 562. Is that your number? Is that your phone number? Or was that your phone number?
Those are Lori's numbers.
Oh, those are both Lori's numbers?
Correct.
Okay. So this is you talking to Lori. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So 69, you're talking to Lori, right? And you say, I'm on my way to the temple on page 5?
Correct.
Okay. And on number 70, page 5, you say, I'll be in the celestial room?
Correct.
Okay. And then number 71, would you read that for me?
Right.
As I was working on Helis today in the temple, I was told he will be taken as he is. I don't know what that means. Then I was shown to only put light, the brightest light, from the top and the bottom at the same time, meaning in the middle. So I've been doing that all day. 7-Eleven. I hope today is a good day for all of this to end.
Okay. So you were in the temple. You went into the temple sometime shortly before 9 a.m. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And are you allowed to bring your phone into any of the rooms in the temple?
No.
Okay. So you didn't have your phone between, say, 8:54 when you first texted that and 11:30, well, that's a long time. So between 8:54, how long were you at the temple that day? Do you recall?
I don't remember how long I was there.
Okay. And so you specifically recall that you were at the temple and that this specific thing happened to you?
Yes, I remember this.
Okay. And this was when you were casting out hippos?
I don't know, man.
Yes, sir. I was supposed to meet Lori at the temple that day.
He said,
And
"This is when you were casting out hippos." Like that's just normal. Like that was
she didn't come.
Chad's.
Okay. But you had an experience
Dark
where
name.
you did some casting out of hippos in the celestial room of the temple. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Holy water and brain bleach. Merch idea. It's true. Y'all are the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
This is the kind of stuff it's nice to be able to laugh, I'm still so concerned about her wanting the confirmation that her demon casting
Was there a
worked.
time, and I specifically don't have this, it wasn't attached to the grand jury exhibit, but was there a time that you had an experience in the temple where you went to the Phoenix Temple in the celestial room and some heavenly beings showed up? Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
This is something you won't soon forget, right? I mean, it was pretty spiritual.
Yes.
Pretty powerful.
Yes.
You said the Heavenly Father was there?
Yes, I believe so.
And Heavenly Mother was there?
I believe so.
And Jesus was there?
Yes.
And your eternal husband was there?
Yes.
And who was that?
Neil Diamond.
I couldn't see who was.
Dave Matthews. Prince.
He said, and
No,
Jesus
the
was
symbol.
there.
Recall what
Yes.
happened that day?
No, sir.
We do.
You
need to stop
remember
the
that
merch idea.
you saw Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, Jesus in the temple, but you don't know what happened?
But I am writing them down. totally Barry. That is my one. That's my one support. I support the use of that emoji for that one moment.
I'll draw the question, Judge. No further questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Get the exhibits.
Where's
and then
Toto?
if there's redirect, Ms. Smith.
Natural Emma said not Oprah.
You get a casting, and you get a casting, and you get a casting. Sweet Caroline.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just
Okay,
heard
do you need a
all of
minute?
you say, "Ba, ba, ba."
Or can we proceed?
We can proceed.
Okay.
Minnie Pearl started as LDS, and then they
Mr. Thomas asked you and
Took it
questions
and ran.
about your view on people, and you said on cross that you try to look for the good in people. Did I hear that right?
Correct.
Okay. And in part of looking for the good in people, that's based in your personal faith and your beliefs as a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so in answering his questions, a lot of your questions were about trying to see Lori you started out trying to see Lori as a good person and a person of faith like yourself.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. We'll turn to Defendant's Exhibits A and Defendant's Exhibits B. So the exhibit, the defense counsel admitted, Exhibit B is a cell phone extraction of your cell phone because you allowed law enforcement to take your phone and to, dump or download your phone, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that they took out the phone numbers and some of the texts that between you and Lori, right?
Correct.
Okay. And on this exhibit, there are two phone numbers that Lori would text you from that aren't just in this exhibit, right?
Correct.
Okay. And can you just read those numbers into the record so that we have them for future use? It's the numbers where it says participants.
Yes. 56480-692-9562.
Okay. And the second one?
1-480-692-9562.
And these are text messages that only go from in Exhibit B, where you just read those phone numbers, from February 5th of 2019 to August 30th of 2019. If you want to look at the first page and page 20.
That is correct.
Okay. So there'd been text and communications before that, right?
Yes.
And there were text and communications after August, right?
Correct.
But these text and communications for Lori were fairly, with Lori, were very typical of your conversations with her, weren't they?
That was Lori's phone number they're
Yes.
reading, right?
In fact,
Yeah.
in Exhibit
That I
B,
assume is no longer.
at least 14 times, Lori calls you a goddess or a powerful being or special.
Yes.
And she also would talk about your powers and your ability to influence the elements, wouldn't she?
Yes.
And so these texts, that's what she would say in text. Would she say similar things to you personally in conversations?
Yes.
Did she tell you were special?
She said that I was very special, that my mission was the most
Not
important one,
specifically,
and that
But that's a whole nother
they
podcast episode.
always were
That's what
looking
that
out for
is.
me because my mission was the most important one.
And did she just say that once, or did she say that more than once?
Several times.
Okay. Over the course of, the year and a half you were friends with her.
Correct.
Okay. And Chad, he would call you a goddess.
Yes.
In fact, in one of the texts, he called you a goddess of the earth.
Correct.
And he, in his communications with you, he would regularly tell you how special you were, right?
Yes, all the time.
And he, in his texts and his calls with you, he let you know that you had a special mission to fulfill, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that special mission was a mission that he identified for you, right?
Yes.
And that special mission he gave you, he and Lori would reiterate in text and email and phone calls about how special you were and how special your powers were, right?
Yes.
And how did that make you respond when they constantly let you know how special you were? They constantly drew on faith and your belief. How did you feel?
It made me feel very good and very special. I started to really believe it.
Okay. And so they
Yep,
would have
that's how
these
that
conversations with you, and they would make you feel this way. And did you feel empowered?
Objection leading,
Yes.
Judge.
It's asked already. It's been responded to, but it is leading.
Understand? I'll slow it down. So my question is, if Chad and Lori made you feel special and empowered, did you ever see that they did the same thing with other people?
Yes, they did the same with other people as well.
Okay. What about Alex? Did you see the same sort of pattern happen with Alex?
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of how they made Alex feel empowered and special?
They told him that
This
Alex
is not
had
normal.
been the angel that had come to Saul before he became Paul, and he was the one that had talked to him and made him blind, and at that time, so that he would mend his ways and become a follower of Jesus Christ. They also told him that he had been an angel before, and that he was an angel that had appeared to Joseph Smith, and they told him that he had been in other creations. He had been exalted with his wife. His wife's name was Holly, and that he had been a very powerful warrior, and that he had unmasked Satan in another creation, and that is the reason why Satan had so much animosity towards him.
So let me ask you, you had multiple conversations with Alex. Did Alex believe what Lori and Chad told him about his power from his previous lives?
Yes, he believed it.
In fact, if I remember some other evidence correctly, did Alex, after hearing about the need to move to Rexburg, quit his job?
Yes, he quit his job and he moved to Rexburg.
Okay, he sold items, and that was at the direction of Lori and the direction of Chad.
Yes, he gave him a blessing and told him to move to Rexburg.
So make sure I understand, he quit his job and moved to Rexburg.
Yes, he even left a lot of his belongings in his house, and he broke his lease and moved to Rexburg.
And one of his, do I have this right? One of his primary missions was to protect Lori. Is that correct?
And I came back and I still understand.
Chad and
just as
Lori
much
were
as I did
telling him
before.
that the only reason why he had come to Earth in this time was the sole purpose was to protect Lori.
He's coming up next.
Each time the group did a casting, and I want to make sure the castings weren't a prayer group, were they?
Yes. Some of them.
An angel.
And the castings themselves, were they part of a prayer service, or did they have another added element?
There was added elements to it.
Okay. I don't, we've heard a lot about it, so I'm not going to go down there, but I guess my question is, each time that there was a casting done on the demon or the dark spirit that was in Charles Vallow, did each dark spirit, according to Lori and what she told you, each time that a dark spirit entered Charles, did that dark spirit get stronger?
Judge, again, she's leading it, and she's
I'm
been doing this
trying to
quite a bit.
transition. I'll move quickly.
It's sustained. It's
Okay.
leading.
All right. Can you tell me, did the strength of the spirit that entered Charles Vallow each time after a casting, did it increase or decrease?
Again, Judge, this is leading.
Overruled that time.
Thank you.
Lori has said that the first one had just followed him for a couple years and knew everything about him. The second one was a very powerful one that had been around for hundreds of years and had done that very many times. And then by the time we got to Hiblos, Hiblos was a very powerful, extremely powerful demon. And this one was almost impossible to cast out because he was so experienced and so powerful.
And so in order for a body, not a person, not to be possessed again by another dark spirit, the body had to be destroyed. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And Alex believed that.
Alex believed everything they told him.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
That was a good sentence for her to end on.
We'll conclude the testimony then for this witness. You can go ahead and be excused. Is the witness under subpoena?
I apologize. I was struggling to turn on the mic this morning. I apologize, Judge. I would ask that she be excused.
All right. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The witness can be excused and released from the subpoena. There was one issued.
Okay, so I think next up is Colby, right?
Yep, that's how I understand it.
So they're talking about the temple. Don't judge me. I was raised in a little bitty tiny town in Georgia, and everybody was Southern Baptist. That's all there was. There was a couple Methodists. So I used to think temple was a store because I asked a friend of mine where she got her necklace, and she got it. She said she got it at the temple, and I thought that was a store. And now every time I hear temple, I think about that. I learned more when I went to college, and there was more than 12 people around me. But every time I hear temple, I think about that. Probably not a good thing to tell people.
All right, Mr. Ryan, before we get started, just a few things. First, have you followed any of the testimony of this trial online, on the news?
Colby is Lori's son.
No. Okay, thank you for that. Also, we are making a record with the court reporter, so please make verbal responses to any questions and try to avoid speaking at the same time as anyone asking you any questions. So with that in mind, Mr. Wood, you can inquire.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan, can you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
So it's Colby Ryan. Last name is Ryan.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan, how do you know the defendant, Lori Vallow?
She's my mother.
Okay. I'd ask that the witness be shown States Exhibits 6 and 4.
Those are previously admitted, correct?
Yes.
All right. Exhibits 6 and 4 are both being shown to the witness.
Mr. Ryan, can you just briefly look at those and familiarize yourself with those exhibits? And then, Your Honor, if I could publish those to the jury very quickly.
You can.
Mr. Ryan, I'm going to show you what's been previously marked and admitted. States Exhibit 6. Do you recognize that person?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's my sister, Tylee. Brian.
Oh, he's crying already.
Oh, boy.
What was your specific relation with Tylee Ryan?
She was my half sister.
Okay. Mr. Ryan, I'm going to show you what's been marked previously and admitted as States Exhibit 4. Do you know that person?
Yes.
Who is that?
My little brother, JJ Vallow.
Okay. What's your specific relation with JJ Vallow?
He was my adopted brother.
Okay. Mr. Ryan, do you know who Charles Vallow was?
Yes.
Who was he?
He's my stepfather.
Okay. Do you know approximately how long he was your stepfather?
13 years, I think.
Okay. Do you recall the day that Charles Vallow died?
Yes.
Okay. Did you happen to have a conversation with Lori Vallow about how he died?
Yes.
Where were you when you had that conversation?
I was at work.
Okay. What time of day was it?
Around 2 or 3 p.m.
I don't believe
Okay.
so.
And was it on
No.
the telephone?
Yes.
Did you call her or did she call you?
She called me.
Okay. What did she tell you about Charles Vallow's death?
She told me that he had died from a heart attack.
From a heart attack.
From a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Did she say anything about him being shot?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know she told him that.
Did you go over to Lori Vallow's
No,
house
I
that
didn't
day?
either.
Yes.
When
Hi,
did you
Ashley.
go over?
After my shift around 7, so I got there around 7:30.
Okay. What did you see when you got there?
When I opened the door, Tylee had answered the door and gave me a hug, and I didn't see anybody else in the house when I opened the door.
Okay. Did you go inside?
Yes.
What did you see when you went inside?
After I saw Tylee, I saw Alex sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay. And did you observe anything out of the ordinary about Alex? And let me clarify, is this Alex Cox?
Yes.
Okay. Did you observe anything out of the ordinary about Alex Cox?
Yes.
What was that?
He was wearing a white bandage around his head.
Okay. Did you speak with him?
Yes.
What was the nature of that conversation?
I asked him why he was wearing the bandage, and he said that he got hit in the head with a bat and then shot Charles.
Okay. Was that the first time you heard that Charles had been shot?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see Lori Vallow that night?
Yes.
What was her general demeanor?
Calm.
Okay. Did you ever have a chance to speak with Lori Vallow about Charles Vallow's life insurance policy?
Yes.
When was that conversation?
A few weeks after Charles was killed.
And what did she tell you?
She just had mentioned that she wasn't receiving any of the life insurance money from Charles.
Okay. Was it your understanding from your conversation that Lori Vallow believed she was the beneficiary of Charles's life insurance policy until after he died?
Yes.
Okay. When Charles was alive, did you ever have occasion to speak with Lori Vallow about her and Charles's finances?
Yes.
How often would that happen?
I would say maybe monthly or twice a month or twice every other month.
Okay. What was the general nature of those conversations?
Mostly to tell me that they were quote unquote out of money.
I'll object to any hearsay, Your Honor. I don't know who he's referring to.
The question was regarding Lori Vallow.
I'll overrule it.
He's on body cam looking just fine.
I don't know which.
All right, why don't you ask another question, Mr. Wood, and clarify who the
Sure.
speaker would be?
Thank you. Mr. Ryan, in regards to the question I just asked, were those conversations with Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Okay. And you testified that she would frequently tell you that she and Charles were out of money.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you know who Tylee Ryan's father was?
Yes.
Okay. Who was he?
Joe Ryan.
Do you know if he is alive or deceased?
He's deceased.
Do you know when that happened?
In 2018.
Okay. Do you know when in 2018?
I don't remember.
Okay. Were you aware if Tylee Ryan received Social Security benefits when Joe Ryan passed away?
Yes.
I'll object. Foundation.
There would need to be additional foundation there,
Okay.
Mr. Wood, to know how this witness would have that information.
Colby, Mr. Ryan, did you ever speak with Tylee Ryan about money?
Yes.
Are you aware she had a bank account?
Yes.
Did you ever receive money from Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
And how did you know where the money she gave you came from?
I'll object, Your Honor. That can only be answered by hearsay.
I tend to agree with that, Mr. Wood. Is there?
Oh, that's the first time I've heard him in a minute.
Apparently, he found out the taxes went through.
Declared unavailable. That she's deceased.
Well, there are different rules for declaring unavailable. I don't know that this falls within any of the exceptions for an unavailable.
I'll rephrase the question, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wood.
Did you ever receive money from Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
How often would that usually happen?
Mostly just randomly.
That was Mr. Archibald
Venmo,
on
maybe.
the defense, I
Okay.
think.
And so you would receive money from her through Venmo?
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, did Lori Vallow ever send you money by sending it to Tylee, who would then forward it to you through Venmo?
Yes.
How do you know that?
I would speak with my mom, and then she would send it to Tylee, and Tylee would use Venmo to send it to me.
Okay. I'm going to call your attention to September 8th, 2019. Did you have a text conversation with Tylee Ryan that day?
Yes.
What was the general nature of that text conversation?
I had asked her if she could transfer money over from Venmo to me.
And how did she respond?
I'll object, Your Honor. Hearsay.
All right, what's the response?
Your Honor, it's not being offered for the truth of the matter. It's offered to being show the effect on the witness.
If it's not offered for the truth, Your Honor, that's not relevant.
Your Honor, there's many times evidence comes in not for the truth of the matter where it's relevant.
I'm going to find, given the background here of what's already been laid in a foundation, I'll overrule the objection finding under Rule 804B6 that this can come in as evidence of a material fact.
I believe because her dad had passed, I think is what I read.
Question so the witness can answer, Mr. Wood.
Can I ask the court reporter what my last question was? How did she respond when you asked her to send money to you?
She said that she was no longer in control of her money and that my mom was handling it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you happen to speak to your mom that day
Yes.
on September 8th, 2019?
Yes.
Did she tell you where they were?
Yes.
Were you able to hear Tylee on that phone call?
Yes.
Where were they?
They said that they were in the Yellowstone gift shop.
Okay. Is that Yellowstone National Park?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever happen to have a conversation with Lori Vallow after Charles Vallow's death about your sister's money?
Yes.
What was the nature of that conversation?
I don't really remember.
Okay. Do you recall your mother speaking specifically about Tylee Ryan's money?
I think so.
Okay. And do you recall if she mentioned her use of that money?
She mentioned that she was going to be using that money for their lives' bills and taking care of them while she found a new job.
Okay. Mr. Ryan, were you contacted by the Gilbert police on the night of November 27th, 2019?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that contact?
They were asking where Tylee was first, and then afterwards they asked me where JJ was.
Okay. Was Tylee with you on November 27th of 2019?
No.
Was JJ with you on the night of November 27th, 2019?
No.
At that time, had you had cause to be concerned about Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
What gave rise to that concern?
My conversations over text with her.
Okay. And what was it about your conversations in text with Tylee that gave you concern?
When I first texted her, I had followed up with a few different phone calls and FaceTimes. And then the texts I was receiving back were just in different language than how Tylee would type and talk, and just the way she used her punctuation and things like that. It was just different.
Okay. So was it fair to say you felt like it wasn't Tylee you were speaking with?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know approximately how long you continued to receive text messages from her after you felt like it changed?
A little bit after her birthday, on the 24th, September 24th.
Okay. Did you continue to receive money from her Venmo after September of 2019?
I think so.
Okay. Do you know approximately how many times you received money from her?
I know the ones I remember were Cash App, but
Okay.
I can't remember the Venmo specifically.
Okay. So did you receive money from a Cash App?
Yes.
Okay. And was that under Tylee's name?
No.
Whose name was that under?
It was under, there was two different accounts. One was under Lori Vallow, and I think the other one was Lori Vallow, something else.
Okay. After Charles Vallow died, did Lori Vallow tell you she was going to get married again soon?
Yes.
When was this conversation?
A few weeks after.
Okay. Did she tell you who she was going to marry?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go back to when the Gilbert police contacted you on the night of November 27th, 2019.
Yeah, he had
Did you
no
contact
idea.
Lori Vallow after the Gilbert police visited?
Yes.
What did you say to her?
I asked her what was going on, why they were looking for the kids, and just to try to tell me what was happening.
Okay. Did you know where Lori Vallow was on November 27th?
No.
Were you aware if she had moved from the Phoenix area?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ever tell you where she moved to?
No.
Did you have a conversation with her about where she moved to?
No.
Okay. Did you ever ask her where she was?
Yes.
How did she respond?
When she initially moved, she just told me she was moving somewhere cold. And that it was dangerous for her to tell anybody where she was going.
Okay. You said you spoke with her on the night of November 27th, 2019, the day before Thanksgiving. Did you try to contact her on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
What happened?
Her phone was disconnected.
Okay. Were you able to contact her after that?
No.
The state has no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wood.
He's waiting for the
Caldwell, do you
cross
wanna
to then
start
do
your
the
cross at this point, or would
yeah.
you like to take our mid-morning break and start cross after the break? I'll leave it up to you. Okay, I think the timing works out well for that. So we'll go ahead and take our mid-morning break, and then Mr. Archibald can commence with his cross-examination after that. So right around 10:30.
All right, please.
Skip. Skip. Oh my gosh.
All right, thank you.
There's so
Madam
much going
Clerk.
on.
We're back on the record on KCR 22-211624, State of Idaho versus Lori Noreen Vallow. We just concluded our mid-morning break.
I love.
Okay, there's a lot happening here.
Yeah.
Good grief. So much. Yeah, there's a lot of trauma going on. I don't want to take too long because I know we've got a lot going on, a lot happening. There's a lot happening. So we just want to give this a shot. If you have some thoughts, you can head to this website, which I am going to somehow put into the chat in a second here. And we might be able to bring you on. It doesn't have to be video; can just be audio. Obviously, you know, some of y'all, if you're not into it, but there's a lot happening here. We just had that Zulema finish up, and then Colby, and I'd like to see if anybody wants to add anything. But from the get-go, that testimony started difficult. Boy, woof.
Yeah, and from what I understand too, when they play the jail calls, because I think they play those after he gets off the stand, and from what I understand, those are really emotional too. And I like he was yelling at her, and they said that you know, she was not crying during that part, but they said that a lot of people in the courtroom were. But they did say that she teared up when he was talking about how she used to protect Tylee and used to protect him. So at least she had some kind of emotion toward him. And not because I give two, you know, shakes of a pig's tail about her, but I'm glad that for Colby that he was at least able to see that. And I don't know if it helps or not, but I would think that just seeing her have some type of emotion, you know, or possible regret when he's up there, I would think that maybe that would feel, you know, not quite as horrible as if he was up there and she wasn't showing anything. So I don't know. Oh, yes, actually, we'll hear the jail.
From what I hear.
Yeah, we'll hear those.
And I'm also wondering if this is the first time he's seen her in a while. And I'm wondering if it just like smacked him in the face when he turned around, sat down in the witness chair, and looked.
Yeah.
But I don't know the specifics on that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep moving on. Let's keep going.
I briefly discussed with counsel in chambers an issue of the ordering of witnesses at this time, understanding the defense intended to call Mr. Ryan also as a witness. So I'll allow some latitude in the scope of the cross-exam based on that representation and allow the state any further redirect as well. So with that in mind,
so they were going to call him
have
anyways.
the jurors brought back in, and you can commence with your cross-examination then, Mr. Archibald.
We might take a break in a little bit. So I'll offer again in a little bit. Thank you.
Shakes.
Were they light or dark shades?
Shakes. I guess that don't make sense to normal people.
No, that makes sense.
It means it, well, whatever. Whatever.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
that old school George's
I like
crap.
it. Yep, that should be the correct link. Which question?
Oh, I would turn in a murderous relative.
Yeah, probably.
All right, please.
I'm not about to be I'm not going to be an accessory. Nope. That one I know.
And that's what it's supposed to be. But if you know my daddy, every single thing he said, he did revolved around cows and pigs. So I grew up saying it.
All right,
Pig's
thank you.
tail.
Cows and pigs.
I posted another one of his pig sayings, and it had tens of thousands of whatevers on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, if
Continue with any cross-examination.
he knew that, bless his heart.
At this time, I'll remind the witness, Mr. Ryan, you're still under
Every
oath.
time I think of sayings like that, I just
Testimony
think Larry the Cable Guy, because he had like some of the best ones ever.
Well, him and my daddy could have been like long lost cousins.
Good morning, Mr. Ryan.
Morning.
How old are you?
27.
And your mom is Lori, and who's your dad?
My dad is William LaJoya.
And as a child, did you have a relationship with him?
No.
As a child, who raised you?
My mother.
And then did you also have a stepdad?
Yes.
And what was his name?
Joseph Ryan.
And is that where you get the surname Ryan?
Yes.
So did Joseph Ryan actually ever adopt you, or did you just take his name?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But as far as you know, your name is Colby Ryan.
Yes.
All right. And are you single or married?
I'm married.
And how many children do you have?
2.
And how old are they?
4 and 1.
And has Lori ever met your children?
Objection relevance.
What's the relevance of that?
Just foundation, Your Honor, just background.
I'll overrule that objection. You can answer.
She met my oldest daughter when she was a baby.
And you have siblings, Tylee and JJ?
I did.
And how much older are you than Tylee?
6 years.
And how much older are you than JJ?
I'm not exactly sure the age difference.
Was your early childhood with your mom and Joe Ryan, was that a good childhood or bad?
Bad.
And why is that?
Objection relevance.
Overruled.
Without going into the details, Mr. Ryan, did your stepfather abuse you?
Objection relevance, and I think we need to approach.
Let's have sidebar, counsel. All right, after sidebar, the court is going to sustain the state's objection. I'll instruct the jury to disregard that last question that was asked. It won't be answered. And Mr. Archibald, you can continue your inquiry.
Did your mother, Lori, protect you from Joe Ryan?
Same objection.
Overruled.
Yes.
Did she protect your sister, Tylee, from Joe Ryan?
Yes.
When your mother, Lori, protected you from Joe Ryan, was that by moving away from him?
Yes.
And was that also by divorcing him?
Yes.
And then your next stepdad was Charles Vallow?
Yes.
And did you have a good relationship with him?
Yes.
And did he treat you better than Joe Ryan?
Absolutely.
And you were able to form a relationship with Charles Vallow?
Yes.
And did you and your brother and sister, Tylee and JJ, have fun times growing up with Charles Vallow?
Yes.
Did you have a good relationship with Tylee and JJ?
Yes.
Now, did Tylee have
I think
some
they're
health
waiting
issues?
to
Yes.
figure out what they have to address.
What did
with
she
him.
have?
When she was younger, she had pancreatitis and had to go to the
Strategic.
hospital for that.
And pancreatitis can be sometimes a painful, debilitating disease.
Yes.
Okay. And so you saw that in Tylee, that she'd have to go to the hospital for that.
Yes.
And did JJ have special needs?
Yes.
And do you know what those were?
I think he was diagnosed with autism.
And did your mother, Lori, care for your needs, Tylee's needs, and JJ's needs when you were growing up?
Yes.
Did you have some struggles as a teenager?
Yes.
Most teenagers do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And was she able to help you through those struggles?
Sure.
Did you were you involved in athletics as a teenager?
Yes.
And did that also help you
Hey, AJ.
through your teenage years?
Yes.
Did you struggle with depression as a teenager?
Yes.
And did Tylee also?
Yes.
And were you and Tylee able to talk about how to work through the depression?
Objection relevance.
Sustained.
Did you have suicidal thoughts as a teenager?
Objection relevance.
Before you answer, let me rule on the objection. I'll sustain the objection and I'll strike the answer and instruct the jury not to disregard that last answer.
Did your mother, Lori, help you and Tylee with thoughts of lack of self-worth?
Yes.
Did your mother encourage you to do good things in your life?
Yes.
Did your mother encourage Tylee to do good things in her life?
I don't know.
Were you out of the home by then?
Probably.
Okay. So you're 6 years older than Tylee?
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you when you left the home?
17.
And where did you go when you were 17?
Kansas.
And who did you live with there?
My uncle, Adam.
Okay. And then did you come back to live with Lori and Charles again?
Yes.
And where were you living then?
In Chandler, Arizona.
And did you graduate from high school?
No.
Did you get your GED?
Yes.
And is that the same with Tylee?
Yes.
Tylee did not graduate from high school, but got her GED as well.
Objection leading.
Overruled. You can answer.
Yes, she did.
Okay. And so when you moved back home, did you go to college, or what did work, or what did you do?
I went to school.
And where did you go to
How's
school?
the ClickUp
Chandler
workflow
Gilbert
going?
Community College.
Did you also go on an LDS mission?
Yes.
And how old were you when you did that?
18.
And where did you go?
Nampa, Idaho.
And how long did that last?
6 weeks at the most.
And then you decided to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And so did you actually make it to Nampa, or were you still being trained?
Yes,
Objection relevance.
I'll sustain the objection. Ask the jurors to disregard that last answer.
Was your mother supportive of your decision to go on a mission and then to come home from a mission?
Yes.
When you were taught by my client, did she teach you about Jesus?
Yes.
Did you and your mother sing songs about Jesus?
At church.
Did your mother teach you to believe in Jesus?
She built a foundation.
And did she teach you about multiple lives? Did you ever hear that from her?
No.
Did she teach you about multiple creations? Did you ever hear that from her?
No.
Did she teach you that you was someone else, that you were someone else in another life, in another world?
No.
Did she tell you that you had been someone else in a previous life in another creation?
Objected. Object asked and answered.
Overruled. You can answer.
No.
Did she teach you about zombies?
No.
Did she teach you about casting out evil spirits?
Not today.
Did she teach you about light and dark scales?
No.
Did she teach you about vibrations?
She said stuff about vibrations, but she never talked to him.
And what was vibrations about?
I don't know. She said me and her had the same vibration.
She say that as a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I would assume good.
Did you take it as a good thing?
I didn't take it as anything.
Okay. As a child, did she teach you that she was a goddess?
No.
Did she teach you that she was a leader of the 144,000?
No.
Did she teach you that the LDS Latter-day Saint religion was wrong?
No.
Did she teach you that you should join a new church called the Church of the Firstborn?
No.
When she taught you about Jesus, were they stories of Jesus healing sick people?
We read scriptures, if that's what you're talking about.
When she taught you about Jesus as a child, did she teach you that Jesus cast out evil spirits?
No.
Did she ever tell you that Jesus killed someone?
No.
So were you still at home when Charles filed for divorce from Lori?
No.
Were you at home when they reconciled?
No.
How was your relationship to Alex Cox?
Minimal.
How would you describe him?
Odd.
Was he always odd?
He was crude and kind of funny and odd.
What did you think of the relationship between Alex Cox and your mother?
I didn't really see Alex a lot until around my wedding.
So he wasn't someone who came to visit you as a child?
Not really.
And then what year was it you got married?
2018.
I think you're reading into that.
So in
right.
2018, did you start to see Alex more?
Yes.
And then, but you were trying to spend less time because you had a new wife. You tried to spend less time around your mother and Alex.
I wouldn't say less time. I moved out.
Okay. And you wrote a book since this case started. Is that true?
Yes.
And the book is called The God Over Odds. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And what is the purpose of your book?
It's my testimony
about how Jesus loves you,
about how he got me through my life.
And so Jesus is a good figure in your life.
Yes.
Not someone who would wreak damage to others.
No.
You also appeared on some media stations. Is that right?
Yes.
Some on YouTube.
Yes.
Was that your God Over Odds media company?
No.
Okay. Is that still an ongoing concern, the media company?
Not right now, no.
Okay. And then you did a docuseries. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you paid for that?
No.
Okay. And in this docuseries, let me read this quote, and you tell me if that's what you said. My mom has spent her whole life protecting us kids.
Yes.
After she met Chad Daybell, she changed.
I don't remember, but yes.
Okay. And so those were this. You don't remember, but in that docuseries, could have said that.
Yes.
In your book and in your docuseries, you talk a lot about your childhood,
mm-hmm.
And you never once thought your mom would hurt someone. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Did you love your mom?
Yes.
Did she love you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a blame game series of 2 trials.
Yeah.
Your book, you have a quote. This book is dedicated to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for always being there with me throughout my entire life. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And who taught you that God was good?
Church and my mom.
Another quote from your book. I'm here to tell you what God has done in my life and how he has gotten me through trying times. He is my strength. Does that sound right?
Yes.
If you got a link, send it to me on Twitter. if you've seen it.
Another quote from your book: God knows us better than we know ourselves, so he knows how to use us. He used our lives to glorify his name. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Also in your book, I struggled with depression in my teen years. I've been suicidal because I saw no hope.
Your Honor, I'm going to object based on our previous objection.
Sustained. I'll ask the jurors to disregard that last question.
You don't have thoughts of suicide now, do you?
No.
Objection.
It's already been asked and answered. I'll sustain the objection again. Ask the jurors to strike that last answer.
God has navigated me through all of life's obstacles. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we love RA. I don't know how putting that from his book. I mean, I get he's trying to lay the foundation to be like, oh, your mom was amazing until Chad, but still, some of this stuff.
He said he doesn't have
Mr.
questions.
Wood, if the state would like redirect, as we previously discussed, that went well outside the scope of your direct examination, so I'll allow you to go into any areas also brought up by the defense in that examination.
Your Honor, may the state take a brief recess?
Yes.
Just 5 minutes.
Okay. If it's 5 minutes, why don't we all have do we need to have the jurors excused, or you just need to get something situated?
It's a me.
I don't think we need to have the jurors.
Okay, well, I'll just stand then. If you want to stretch your legs, you may.
Woof.
All right, Mr. Wood, if you'd like to commence with redirect, you may.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan, you defense asked you about when you moved out of the home.
Yes.
Okay. Since the time you moved out of your home, has your mom ever asked you for money?
No.
Did she give you money?
Yes.
Did she ever ask you to do? Did she ever ask you for anything since you moved out of the home?
Nothing but to help them move.
Okay, just to help them move. Okay. Your father's still alive?
Yes.
You don't receive Social Security benefits for a dead parent?
No.
Okay. Does your mom control your bank account?
No.
But you testified she's given you money, right?
Yes.
In fact, at some point, didn't she even give you Tylee's debit card to purchase yourself a birthday gift?
Yes.
Okay. In the last several years, did your mom ever ask you to attend any special religious meetings?
No.
Okay. So she didn't ask you to come to her house and listen to Chad Daybell?
No.
She didn't ask you to come to her house and participate in something called castings?
No.
Okay. When did you find out where your mom had moved to?
After I saw it on the news.
Okay. And do you recall when that was?
That was December 19th, 2019.
So she didn't share that information with you?
No.
When did you find out that your brother and sister were missing?
The day that they had come to ask where they were.
Okay. And did you ever ask your mom about that?
No.
Okay. Did you ever have a conversation with your mom about her life insurance policy?
Yes.
What was the nature of that conversation?
I think when I was younger, she had told me that she had a life insurance policy, that if anything ever happened, that there was something there.
Did she ever tell you that she was listing you as the sole beneficiary of a life insurance policy?
Let me look.
I think when I was a teenager.
Okay. And Tylee and JJ were alive then, right?
Yes.
But she only listed you?
Yes.
Okay. I asked you earlier if your mom had asked you for anything. Do you know if your mom asked highly for money?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, state has no further questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wood. Any recross on that, Mr. Archibald?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that'll conclude your testimony then, Mr. Ryan.
One of Lori's
Mr. Ryan may be here
youngest
under
who died.
subpoena also.
Correct,
Any
Brandi?
objection to him being excused?
No, we don't. Well, Your Honor, we'd ask that he be kept under the subpoena just momentarily, but we can excuse him at the moment.
Okay, so
Don't
go ahead and step
apologize.
down then. Mr. Ryan, just I guess remain here in the courthouse while you're still under subpoena until you receive further notice either from the court or the state. Thank you. All right, is the state ready to call its next witness?
Lisa Wilmot, yay.
This time, the state would ask to publish State's Exhibit 34B to the jury. It's been previously admitted without objection.
All right, any objection to that being published at this time from the defense?
Well, Your Honor, if we have any questions about the audio, maybe we can recall Mr. Ryan. But as of right now, it has been admitted, but I don't know why it wasn't played to the jury while we had a witness on the stand.
Yeah, it's a little unusual to just play an audio without any witness on the stand, I would say.
Is it?
I think
Have you seen the LS trial?
Once they're admitted, they're part of the record, but they need to tie in somehow to the foundation of how they've come in. So,
Your Honor, it was already explained that this was a jail phone call between Colby Ryan and his mother. The foundation's already been
I need a
set.
drink for this one. I'll be back.
We've asked to keep him under subpoena.
All right.
Need to be brought back into questioning. But
Not
nature of it,
today,
we would ask
Dayton.
to be able to just publish it to the jury now.
all right, I'll allow the exhibit since it's been admitted to be published. However, only on the condition that Mr. Ryan remain available and subject to recall if the defense has any questions for him subsequent to publishing the exhibit. So at this time, we'll allow for the jurors to hear the recording on the exhibit 34B.
We need one now and again.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
I'm going to slow this to normal. Boy, that's very quiet.
You can hide from me? Probably because you murdered my siblings. It's probably why you talking to you. Maybe you should. You didn't do anything, right? I prayed for you. My personal. I prayed for my siblings. You swore to me we're okay. I thought that you were a completely different person.
I wish I could turn it up.
Mr. Wood, I apologize to interrupt. Could I have a brief sidebar with counsel?
If you have a link to a better area where there's the better audio levels, please feel free
All right, we're going back on the record. I had a brief
send it to
sidebar in
Twitter.
relation to the
you can DM me.
I guess requests that have been made to publish this exhibit without the witness on the stand. I further considered whether that would be appropriate. I don't know what the contents of the exhibit are because I've not yet reviewed them, but upon hearing it started, I think it would be appropriate that we would require the witness to be in attendance that is connected to this exhibit. So let me ask from the defense, does the defense wish to have the
I'll look for
witness
another.
remain on the stand while the exhibit's published to the jury?
I'll look for another.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know if we'll have any questions for him after it's played, but I think both the state and the defense should be entitled to ask questions if necessary after it's played.
All right. In consideration of that, I do find it's appropriate that the witness who was previously sworn and under oath would still be so, and he'll be required to observe through the publishing of this audio. So, Mr. Ryan, apologies for the inconvenience here. If you just return back up to the witness stand, and I'll have you remain here through the publishing of this exhibit in case there are any further questions from either side once the exhibit's been played. Mr. Wood, with that in mind, if you could start the recording over at the beginning, then we'll have it published to the jury at this time.
All right, let's give this a shot.
Hello? Hello?
All right, 1 second. Everybody talk amongst yourselves briefly. I'm going to figure this out real fast. I'm going to do this on the fly. I'm going to normalize the volume, up it. I had this ahead of time. I would have taken care of it for everybody. That's not going to help. Sorry, everybody.
What is the Terry Sanderson straw thing? What is that?
Hello?
All right. Tell me
I'm
if
gonna
this is
mute.
better, y'all. What is the straw thing? That's what I want to know.
I drink out of a straw because then it's not like.
Oh, I see. I see. All right.
more ladylike.
Let's give this a shot. Tell me if this is better, everybody.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. You think you can hide from me? Probably because you murdered my siblings. It's probably why I'm talking to you. Maybe you should understand. I didn't. I'm sorry that you felt that way. You didn't do anything, right?
Podcasting experience for the win. Yay.
I have prayed for you in my worst moments. I have prayed for my siblings who swore to me we're okay. I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person. I don't know a murderous mother.
You can make judgments when you weren't there and you don't know what happened.
What happened?
Everyone's making their own judgments.
Mom, you've been shoving BS on my throat for a very long time. I'm going to talk to you.
It could be bad.
Hey, listen to me. I'm not nasty. Listen to me. Fine, listen to me. I've sat there and prayed. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I have felt from your decisions. In Jesus Christ's name, it kills me to watch you sit here and tell me this is a trial. It kills me to watch you take the victim's route and say that this shouldn't have happened to you. You are telling me that Chad Daybell came into your life, and all of a sudden, everything changes. I'm talking about my spirit feels this. I prayed. I trusted you. I gave you every chance I could past my own limitations as a human being. I pushed past all of everything to try to get to you, to help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count. To know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister, who's not even alive, my little brother, who's the sweetest little kid ever, for what purpose? And you tell me that this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepfather, to be dead. After everything you try to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all conviction in your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side. Please.
I can't tell you that.
Say it. Say his name. Say that he told you. And you followed him like exactness. Because I have prayed for you. I sat there and tried my best to forgive you and Chad and Alex. And I was deceived. And I was broken by my own mother. What are you doing? What are you doing? I prayed to Heavenly Father, and I said, you tell me, Father.
All life have all these instructions. They think they know what happened. They think
I don't care about other
they know
people.
what happened. They think they know what's responsible.
Do you know that you told me?
Everything.
Do you know what you told me?
You weren't there. So
You're right. I wasn't there. I was kept
that's
in
right. And one day, you will know.
Murder.
One day,
Murder.
you will know what actually happened.
You're right. You know what?
And we all will stand there with
Everything is right. You're He will convict the people who act in his name with pure blasphemy. This is funny. This is funny. This is funny. You're laughing like this is funny. How come your camera's on? You don't want to look at me in the eye?
Yeah, I don't know what those are.
It's just you and me. I'm in my house alone.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see and one day you will understand.
Go ahead and
I
hang
do
up.
love
See
you.
how that works for you. You gonna hang up?
I don't have anything else to say. You obviously don't know. You weren't there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there.
You're right.
Nobody was there.
Helis and J.T.
Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened. And they love me. And we're still together forever. They love me. And they are fine. And they do know the truth. And I know the truth. And we're the only people that do. So you can judge me, Colby, all day long. Go ahead and judge me. The whole world has. The whole world has judged me.
Listen to me.
They don't know, and you don't know. You know what I've been through, and you didn't even give a crap what they've been through. Nobody does. Except for me. I'm the one that knows. I am the one that was in the hospital with Tylee for hundreds of days watching her suffer. I am the one that was there doing everything with JJ every day. I was the one who did it all these years.
You did it all to throw it in the garbage. They're not.
You don't know what happened. You don't get what happened.
matter what happened if they're buried in your new husband's backyard. Tell me that matters what happened. You tell me that you did this in Jesus' name, Mom. I have to hear that out of you. You believe it and you are not afraid. Every witness of Christ will scream his name when he comes back. So you are that person.
I am that person. I am that person. Right. And he will come to you. Oh, yeah, Colby, because that's what it is. You don't even know. You weren't even there.
When I see about in October, what did you tell me? What did you tell me? What lies did you feed me? Why would you lie to me if you're with the Lord and you've seen him, and I'm just talking purely to you, and you've seen Jesus Christ, where's the fear? Why wouldn't you tell me something? Why were you afraid? Why is everyone against you? Why is everything against my mom?
You can be against me all you want. One day, we will all stand there with Jesus. We will all stand there with Jesus, and you will know the truth of everything. Not for me.
You're telling me that this was all done in light. Say it. Tell me that this was done in Jesus' name.
You don't know what happened.
Why?
She can't say it.
Why don't I know, Mom? Oh, because I was kept in the dark to protect me? You know who needed protecting? My little dead siblings. That's who needed protecting, Mom. This
where were you to do that? Is that what you think you did?
You ran away.
I hadn't been.
A month later, you ran away. I never wanted you guys to leave. I would have taken those kids in 1 second. I would bring them into my home, and I would have taken care of them. That's not even a question to me.
Yeah, everybody
You can't say that you know.
Everybody says that.
Says it now? Where was my offer?
I did everything for them.
For me, Peter Griffin run away together in Hawaii? How about that? If you had offered me, you would have known. You cannot sit here and lie.
That's not everything. That is not the truth. Okay? That's what people are thinking. They're assuming.
And you walk away.
No, you don't know that. No, that is not what happened. That is not what happened.
You tell me what happened. If you can tell me what happened, then I don't care. If you can actually explain it, then it's different.
I would love.
But you can't.
Talk to you about.
Mom, you've been saying that you've been wanting to tell me for a very long time, and you never say it. You have no idea how much pain I have felt in my body. I feel like I could die. My own mom, my siblings, and my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except for you, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father himself and asked him to help me survive this. Do you understand the freaking earthquake that has been caused? Do you know how many people are hurt and broken now? And you're telling me that there's a reason? Why are you following Chad down the rabbit hole, Mom? Why would you follow anybody that is not good? How can you follow someone that cannot lead you to salvation in Jesus, Mom? You can't lie to me anymore. You can't pretend anymore. You can't hide anymore. If you want to tell me what happened, I called you for that very reason. You had enough condemnation for the whole entire eternity, but you're telling me that you're going to stand in front of Jesus Christ and you're going to be fine. Then I'm still praying for you. I am still praying for you. I don't know where the lies and all these things are written. I don't see it. I never have. The light of Jesus Christ is the most powerful thing that has ever lived. It's the most loving, embracing thing that has ever happened to this world. And I pray that you see him and fall into his grace. I pray every day. I pray no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel. I pray for you. I pray for him. You ripped my heart out, and you ripped out everyone in this family's heart out. I'm going to be in Idaho this week. You need to look me in my eye, Mom. Look me in my eye.
phone call that I have. I'll probably try and go through and clean it up a little bit more. Let's see if I can get us to where we need to be here.
Next, if you want. Of exhibit.
So are they going to ask him questions? Or are they going to...
All right, so that concludes the publication of Exhibit 34B. Does the defense have any further questions for the witness at this time?
No questions, Your Honor.
All
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Okay, at this point then, can the witness be excused and released from the subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, that'll conclude your testimony in the trial then, Mr. Ryan.
There's a transcript posted. I'll get you the link.
I'll ask the state next if you want to get into another witness at this time, or perhaps start the lunch break at this time is another option too. I think we can do that if that makes more sense given the timing.
Perhaps it would be best to break for lunch and then we can start as soon as I get back.
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll try to be restarting no later than 12:30. So we'll take the lunch recess at this time.
I just want to punch her and Letitia.
I want to take a quick pause. I think we need to we just very quick pause. I know we're going to keep pushing through this, but oh man. I'll probably cry later about it. That's just so difficult.
It makes me want to punch her. You know, and the thing is like, you hear so much about how she was so great and she was so, you know, such a great mom and she was all these things before. And I feel like that's what her defense attorney is trying to get at. You know, oh, she was loving and she took care of y'all and she did this and this and this. That heifer went nuts and is responsible for all these deaths. So what she used to be don't amount to a hill of beans when, you know, there's these sweet lives that are lost. And then, you know, you focus so much on the victims, but then when you hear people like Colby on the stand and the pain in his voice and, you know, how he's talking about how he's lost so many people, it's just, whew, it's hard.
Yeah. Confronting your parent in this fashion is just a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, she sucks. Letitia sucks. Chad Daybell sucks. Yeah, they all suck.
All
But
right.
he did really good. He did really well.
He held up, and I think I was sending a message to Brandi saying I'm not sure what third party was sniffing in the phone call, and Brandi brought up the fact that it wasn't a third party, it was two parties, but the sniffing was coming from Colby on the stand.
Yeah.
And that hit me pretty hard.
He's
too.
sitting there having to listen to confronting his mama and crying about it, and that's just really sad.
Yeah.
So she sucks.
All right. Well, I guess
yeah,
we
when
should
she
keep
laughed,
going.
I'm bad at clicking on these. When she laughed, that was the worst. It made my blood boil because he's pouring out his heart about how hurt he is. And she's just like, ha ha ha, you don't even know what happened.
And yet she won't explain. You'd think that if it was that important to do in her head, that she wouldn't care whether it implicated her. I don't know. Well, I know. that's just me hedging, is what that is. Yes, I think we all need some virtual just hugs. That's what we all need right now. This is, this is why we're happy that we have the community we do.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either Brandi or I could make it through this by ourselves, either together or independently. Having you all here is super important, and it's really important for us to be able to talk about this, at least explain it, hear it, but then also make sure that we're all fact-based in a lot of different things. So, yeah, I probably should just hit play, huh? That's probably the best option at this point. So what I'm going to do is the next two people are important, but I'm going to push it to 1.5, and we'll see how that goes. If we find out that the witnesses talk faster, well, maybe we'll drop it back to 1.25, but we'll play it by ear. So...
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. All right, we're back on the record on case CR 22-21-1624, State of Idaho versus Lori Noreen Vallow. We just concluded our lunch recess. We're ready to start with afternoon evidence. Is the state ready to call another witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll go ahead and have the jurors brought in, and then you can call your next witness, Mr. Wood.
Yep.
Me too.
Me 3 and 4? I don't know.
See, when I was doing my Gannon recaps, I paused while I cried like this and then restarted. Don't get to pause on a live stream.
Nope. Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
That's JT.
Oh boy. Who are we calling?
I don't know. I'm glad we did it at 1.5.
I know. Tell me about it.
You just first want to inquire.
Oh.
Inquire on direct.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Mark Sari, S-A-A-R-I.
Thank you. What is your occupation?
I'm a special agent, the Social Security Administration Office of Inspector General.
Okay. Did you say for the Inspector General?
Correct.
Okay. What are your qualifications to be a special agent for the Social Security Administration and Inspector General?
So I was a prior Deputy U.S. Marshal for approximately 13 years. I completed the Criminal Investigator Training Program at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Quinco, Georgia.
And what are your duties as a special agent?
I investigate allegations of fraud, waste, and abuse.
Related to?
Social Security Administration fraud, correct.
Okay. How did you become involved in the investigation regarding Colby Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Lori Vallow?
In about January of 2020, our office was contacted by the FBI out of Phoenix, Arizona, requesting assistance locating missing children, J.T. Vallow, as well as Colby Ryan.
Okay. And what was the purpose of your investigation?
To determine if there was any kind of fraud related to the children's benefits being misused by their mother, Lori Vallow.
Okay.
What
steps did you take in your investigation? What were your initial steps?
I reviewed police reports from the Rexburg area, met with the FBI as well as other law enforcement in the area, served, I believe, several subpoenas.
Okay. Pursuant to your investigation, was Colby Ryan receiving Social Security benefits?
Yes, she was.
Do you know why she was receiving Social Security benefits?
Based upon her father, Joe Ryan, who was deceased in 2018.
Do you know when he was deceased?
I believe in about April of 2018.
Okay. And do you know how much per month Colby Ryan received in Social Security benefits?
Approximately $1,859 in the year of 2019.
Okay. Do you know if Pursuant to your investigation, was there ever a change for the financial institution receiving the direct deposit funds for Tylee Ryan?
There was.
What was the first account she received her Social Security funds in?
It was a JP Morgan Chase account.
Okay. And did that then switch to another account?
It did.
What account? What was the institution that it switched to?
To a BBVA account.
Okay. And do you recall when that would have happened?
The change was made on or about August 20th of 2019.
Okay. When such a change takes place, would there have been a notice to the guardian of a minor child receiving Social Security benefits?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how they would have received it?
It would have been a letter sent to Lori Vallow's last known address.
Okay. Do you know if that's an automatically generated notice?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Have you reviewed such a notice in regards to this change in financial institutions?
I have.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 114C.
All right, the witness has been handed the exhibit.
Mr. Sari, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What does it purport to be?
It reports the change of bank account direct deposit information for Tylee Ryan that occurred on or about August 20th, 2019.
And is this, did you review this document as part of your investigation?
I have.
Okay. And is this a true and accurate representation of the records kept by the Social Security Administration?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that this State's Exhibit 114C be entered into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Exhibit 114C has been admitted.
May I publish it to the jury?
You may.
Sorry, who is that letter addressed to?
Lori Vallow for Tylee A. Ryan.
Okay. And under the section, what you should know, can you just read that first paragraph?
As you requested, on or about August 20th, 2019, we changed Tylee Ryan's direct deposit information. We will send her we will send her Social Security payments to the new financial institution or account you selected.
Thank you. Mr. Sari, oops. I guess I should call you Agent. Mr. Sari. Pursuant to your investigation, are you aware of when Social Security payments for Tylee Ryan ended?
Yes.
When was that?
In or about the month of January 2020.
Why did they end?
Based upon Social Security having her benefits suspended on or about January 3rd, 2020.
Okay. And why did Social Security suspend those benefits?
Due to the children's whereabouts being unknown.
Okay. Pursuant to your investigation, did J.J. Vallow receive Social Security benefits?
Yes, he did.
Why did he receive benefits?
Based upon his father, Leland Charles Vallow, being deceased in or about July 2019.
Okay. And how much did he receive per month?
Approximately $19.51 per month in the year of 2019.
Okay. When did those payments begin?
They began on or about September 18, 2019.
And do you know when those payments stopped being dispersed?
Yes.
When was that?
In or about January 2020.
Okay. And are you aware through your investigation why they ended?
Similar to Tylee, based upon the child's whereabouts being unknown.
Okay. Now, when Tylee and JJ received Social Security benefits, are those considered survivor benefits?
They are.
Are you aware through your investigation if Lori Vallow received Social Security benefits?
Yes.
What kind of benefits did she receive?
It was called Mother, Child, and Care benefits.
Okay. What are the conditions for a mother, child, and care benefit?
For mother to be married to her spouse at the time of his death. And then secondly, she cannot remarry to continue receiving benefits.
Okay. And I assume she has to have a minor child.
Correct.
Okay. When did Lori Vallow begin receiving those mother and care benefits?
The same date as JJ did, on September 18, 2019.
And do you know how much she received a month?
Approximately $19.51 per month.
Okay. Did the monthly amount she received ever change?
It did.
Do you know why?
In the month of January 2020, the last month she had benefits, she had a small garnishment from U.S. Treasury.
Okay.
A small garnishment?
And I think you just said the last month she received it, but when did disbursement stop being made for Lori Vallow?
In or about January 2020.
And why did they end?
Hey, Brandi.
Due to the child's whereabouts being unknown. JJ's whereabouts being unknown.
Okay.
She was a hairdresser before she started living off the kids' money.
About if an individual is receiving social security benefits, do they ever have a duty to notify the Social Security Administration of any changes in circumstances?
Yes.
What kind of changes in circumstances require notification?
If a child's no longer under your care, if a child is deceased, also a change of address, that sort of thing.
Okay. And are individuals who apply for Social Security benefits notified that they are required to provide that information to the Social Security Administration?
Yes.
How are they notified of that?
After their application, they receive a letter for the application summary. They also receive what's called a notice of award. So we receive different letters giving them warnings on their requirement to report to Social Security of any kind of changes.
Okay. Pursuant to your investigation, are you aware if Lori Vallow ever received such a notification?
Yes.
Do you know if she received such a notification when benefits were applied for J.J. Vallow?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 114B.
Very well.
Agent, do you recognize that document?
I do.
What does it purport to be?
This is the mother, child, and care reporting responsibilities that were sent to Lori Vallow on behalf of her child, JJ.
And is that type of record regularly kept by the Social Security Administration?
Yes, it is.
And did you review that record as part of your investigation?
Yes, I have.
Is that a true and accurate representation of the reporting responsibility notification you described earlier?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I ask that State's Exhibit 114B be admitted into evidence.
Any objection? All right, there being no objection, 114B is admitted.
May I publish to the jury?
Yes.
Agent, I'm going to just point to a line with my pen, if you could read it.
Any beneficiary dies or becomes unable to handle benefits.
Now, can you read the first one as well?
You or any child changes mailing address for checks or residence. To avoid delay in receipt of checks, you should also file a regular change of address notice with your post office.
Can you read that line?
Custody change. Report if a child for whom you are filing or who is in your care dies, leaves your care or custody, or changes address.
Oh, and then this one.
Change of marital status. Marriage, divorce, annulment of marriage of any child. You must report marriage even if you believe that an exception applies.
Agent, did Lori Vallow ever report to the Social Security Administration that Tylee Ryan died or was missing?
She did not.
Did Lori Vallow ever report to the Social Security Administration that J.J. Vallow died or was missing?
She did not.
Did Lori Vallow ever report that Tylee and J.J. had moved from Arizona to Rexburg?
She did not.
Did Lori Vallow ever report to the Social Security Administration that she married Chad Daybell on November 5th of 2019?
She did not.
And did Lori Vallow ever report to the Social Security Administration that she moved to Hawaii in November or December of 2019?
She did not.
State has no further questions at this time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wood. Who's going to conduct cross-examination?
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
All right, then that will conclude the testimony of Agent Sari. Is he here on subpoena?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, may he be released? Any objection to that from the defense?
No objection.
All right, you can be released from the subpoena then. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state would next call Chuck Constratis, but we'd ask for a sidebar before we do that.
Okay.
Discuss some logistics.
I think he was the fastest talking witness we've had.
Yeah, absolutely. He knew his stuff, that's for sure.
But normally when we put him at, 1.5, which I'm used to listening real fast and then I'll pause it and do my video, and then real fast I'll pause and do my video. So I'm used to listening to it fast, but he actually talks fast. So listening to him fast was... That's my sound effect. Y'all get that for free.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Wood, you can call your next witness.
State calls Detective Chuck Constratis.
Okay.
Kind of looks like Colonel Sanders a bit in this picture.
It looks like Chris Farley to me.
Ooh, Chris Farley. Yes.
In a van down by the river, like when he's doing his fat man in a little coat, or like when he's got with the jacket on.
Detective, have you reviewed or listened to or followed
Like
any of
Chris
the trial
Farley
testimony so far in this case?
Slash
Okay, thank you for
Dennis
that.
Rader.
I'll just
To
advise
be
you,
honest
please
with
make
you.
verbal
Oh my
Like,
God.
sounds like a joke,
your
but it's
questions and
true.
try to avoid talking at the same time as anyone questioning you so we can keep a clear record.
No, you're right.
And
Oh, wow.
Mr. Wood, you can inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I inquire, the state would move by way of stipulation to enter into evidence multiple business records, affidavits. If you'd like, I can go read through the exhibit numbers on those.
Okay, let's go through and
Hey,
call out
do
each
you have an
exhibit
tape
number
there?
and I'll confirm that there's no objection.
Okay. State's Exhibit 63.
Any objection to that being admitted?
Your Honor, it's true that under Idaho Rule of Evidence 902, business records, we
Yes.
are not intending to object.
Okay, thank
And there's
you.
more coming.
So 6-3 will be admitted.
I'll get
State's Exhibit
one
64.
and I'll get it.
Kylie was 17
Yeah.
when she was murdered.
Any objection as to 64?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 64 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 65.
Any objection as to 65?
No, Your Honor.
That will be admitted.
State's Exhibit 66.
Any objection on 66?
No, Your Honor.
That's admitted.
State's Exhibit 67.
Any objection from the defense on that exhibit?
No, Your Honor.
67 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 68.
Any objection from the defense on 68?
I don't remember how many, but I know it was over 200.
State's Exhibit 70.
Any objection as to 70?
No, Your Honor.
That one will be admitted.
State's Exhibit 71.
Any objection on 71?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. 71 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 72.
Any objection as to 72?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. 72 is admitted.
Lucy's
State's
our
Exhibit
mascot.
73.
Any objection on that exhibit from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 73 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 74.
Any objection?
Hey, Evan.
No,
I mean, I loved Rebels Tribute.
State's Exhibit 75.
It looked so good.
Any objection to that exhibit?
Lucy says hi.
No, Your Honor.
All right, 75 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 77.
Any objection as to
My
77?
baby. Oh, this is a good girl.
No, Your Honor.
77 is admitted.
State's Exhibit 78.
Any objection as to 78?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 78 is now admitted.
State's Exhibit 79.
Fast
Any
forward
objection
past
as
this, but I
to
feel like
offer
we need a
exhibit
break.
79?
No, Your
Hey,
Honor.
so while they're doing their thing, hold on, big girl.
State's Exhibit 80.
Go get me some water. Hold on. Hold on. She's so needy. If y'all want to, so we do the pet parade, and which today I had so much going on, I didn't make the post. So today we didn't have the one like we did last time, but I'll do a post before we start our thing, and I'll do it in the mornings. I'll try to remember to do it in the mornings from now on, and you can post a picture of your pet, or if you want to do your kids, but most people, you know, we've done pets because pets make everybody happy. And when things get really hard, then we do our little pet parade, and it releases all those little happy moments in our brain that help to balance out all of the heaviness and sadness. So if you want to follow on Twitter, and you can put your little pet, and then we'll scroll through them.
It's Exhibit 88.
Yeah, and
Objection?
honestly, I think we could open it up. Just what makes you happy. You know,
Anything that makes you happy. Yeah.
within
We've been
reason.
doing pets. Yeah, I mean,
Objection as to 94.
Don't get us canceled from YouTube. You know.
oh,
My
Lucy Bauer
comments-
said, I'm sorry.
you
I
know.
thought you were talking to me. My dog is Lucy too. Lucy
Well, hi to
Bowers.
Lucy too. Hi to
Hi to
both.
Lucy too.
Look, everybody say hi to Lucy.
Hi, Lucy Bowers.
Good night. Sunsets work.
Oh my gosh.
94 is admitted.
Betsy, you have no idea. I take a picture of the sunset almost every single night. It's like my jam. I love sunsets.
My name is Chuck. Of those exhibits that have now been admitted.
All right.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Can you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Chuck Constratis, Kunsaitis.
Phew, spelled it right.
What is your occupation?
I'm employed with the city of Rexburg as a police officer.
How long have you been a police officer with the city of Rexburg?
Almost 23 years.
Have you ever worked for another law enforcement agency?
I have not.
Are you post certified?
I am graduated post class 131.
Okay. And have you continued receiving training over the last 23 years?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your current rank?
I hold the rank of detective.
How long have you been a detective?
Since 2011.
Okay. Detective, how did you come to be involved in the case regarding Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Lori Vallow, and Tammy Daybell?
Back on November 27th of 2019, I was aware that Detective Ray Hermosillo was issuing search warrants at the Rock Creek townhomes in Rexburg for 3 different townhomes to conduct a welfare check to locate J.J. Vallow. I was not part of that initial search warrant service. I arrived later in the afternoon. I met up
Holy
with
crap.
Hermosillo and asked if I could help.
Bless you.
And he asked that I
That's
just
awesome.
walk through Department 175 just to see if there was anything of evidentiary value that may have been missed.
Okay. When you walked through, did you find anything?
I did. In the upstairs master bedroom 175, there was a printer in the bedroom. And on that printer, there was an invoice in the name of Lori Vallow for Self-Storage Plus for unit number C52. And that is a self-storage
I love that
facility
idea.
at 433 Airport Road in Rexburg.
Did you obtain a search warrant for that storage unit?
We did later that evening.
Okay. And did you execute that search warrant?
I assisted Detective Hermosillo with that service.
All right. A detective, at any time in your investigation, did you have occasion to write a warrant for a P.O. box in Sugar City, Idaho?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
In late December of 2019, we received information from Gilbert Police Department in Arizona that Lori Vallow had a post office box in Sugar City, Idaho. We followed up on that information.
Okay. And so did you wrote that warrant?
Yes,
And did you execute it?
I did.
What did you find in executing that warrant?
There was a large bundle of mail, possibly around 100 pieces, addressed to Lori Vallow, addressed to her brother Alex Cox, and her former husband, deceased Charles Vallow.
Okay. Did you find anything of interest to your investigation in that mail?
Yeah, some of that mail we were able to discern it came from different financial institutions. There were cell phone bills and things of those natures. There was also mail from the Social Security Administration and IRS.
Okay. At any time, did you obtain a warrant for any other mail?
We did. Around that same time, there was a gentleman by the name of Steve Cruz, who was the owner of the townhome of number 107. This was the townhome that was applied for by Lori Vallow at the Rock Creek Townhomes, and there was abandoned mail that he wished to turn over to the police department, and we obtained a warrant for that. And there was letters that were addressed, mail addressed to Alex Cox and Lori Vallow.
Based on what you found in that mail, did you serve any other warrants or subpoenas?
Yes, for the mail, we end up sending out search warrants and subpoenas to several financial institutions.
Okay. What was the purpose of obtaining financial records in your investigation?
Well, in the hopes of finding such a missing persons case as this was, where we were looking for JJ and Tylee by this time, you can glean a lot of information from financial records. It's not only just how much is in the account, but you can look at how much activity is taking place on an account, where the money is being spent, whether it's done online or if it's done in person, if it's an everyday account for errands and those types of things.
Okay. Detective, did you create a list of financial institutions upon which you served warrants?
I did.
Let me clarify that question. I'm sorry. As to Lori Vallow and Colby Ryan, did you create a list of financial institutions upon which you served warrants?
I did.
Did you prepare that list in anticipation of testifying before the jury?
Yes.
Okay. Did you prepare that list to aid the jury in knowing which financial institutions that you're speaking about and being able to keep track of them?
Yes.
And do you believe that that demonstrative list would so aid the jury?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibit 62.
Thank you for being here.
All right, the witness is being handed State's Exhibit 62.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is it?
This is a financial account attribution list I created.
Is this the same demonstrative list that I spoke with you about earlier?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate representation of what you created?
It is.
Your Honor, for demonstrative purposes, I'd ask that State's Exhibit 62 be entered into evidence.
Any objection?
For that purpose only, no objection.
Okay, it's admitted for the limited purpose of being a demonstrative exhibit.
I forgot.
That's
Detective,
Exhibit
could you
62.
pull Exhibit 62 from your folder?
No, ma'am.
That was DeLucy. Not Lucy in the chat.
Yeah, sorry.
I may have published it here.
Forgot I'm not muted.
Detective, can you read that? Can you see that list?
I can.
Are these the accounts that can you just briefly summarize the accounts that you either obtained information either for warrants or subpoenas?
Yeah, we've obtained numerous accounts for banking records in this case, and we were able to narrow that down to the list that you see here. Would you like me to go over each one of them?
Just briefly.
Okay. So the first one is titled Lori Vallow Daybell. These are accounts that are associated with her. There's a J.P. Morgan Chase joint account with her former husband, Charles Vallow. There's a second J.P. Morgan Chase account that she shared with Tylee Ryan, and you see the last four digits after each of those. Those are the last four digits of the account numbers, a way to keep track of things. There's a third account from J.P. Chase Morgan that was also a shared account with Charles Vallow. That account ends in 0377. There is two accounts associated with BBVA. There's a personal account that's a sole account user for Lori Vallow, and that ends in 3229. There is a joint account that Lori Vallow shared with Tylee Ryan, and that one ends in 5794. There's a Barclays Hawaiian credit card joint account that she shared with Charles Vallow. There are 2 card numbers associated with that account, and each card number is reflected after the name. There's an additional Barclays credit card joint account that Lori was a cardholder on, which sharing under her brother's Barclays account, and that would be Alex Cox. Alex had 2 cards, and Lori was issued 1 card. There's First Hawaiian Bank. This is a personal account for Lori Vallow. Chase Southwest Air. It's a joint credit card through PFS Marketing, Premier Finances Services. This is the business that Charles Vallow, her former husband, I believe was the owner of and worked with. There's also a National Life Insurance of the Southwest. This is a life insurance policy that Lori had taken out for personal reasons.
And just the bottom for accounts associated with Tylee Ryan.
Yeah, so the first 2, the JP Chase and the BBVA, are shown above. They're just placed under Tylee Ryan's name. And you'll see the Chrysler Financial, and it's for a Jeep that Tylee purchased with Charles Vallow.
Nightlife Bailey.
A Jeep vehicle, Jeep Wrangler, that was purchased through Chrysler Finance.
Oh, so this is the Jeep that Brandon Boudreaux had the shots in.
Detective, can you look at what's been marked as State's Exhibit 63A? Your Honor, these are previously admitted, so.
Oh.
All right, that exhibit is admitted.
May I publish to the jury?
You may.
Detective, can you let me know when you have 63A?
I have it in my hand.
What is that document?
This is the banking application, account application, signature card for Charles and Lori Vallow for the account of, which would become 0769.
Okay. What was the significance of that account to your investigation?
Well, we just learned that it was an everyday account that was used for errands, paying bills, shopping. And this was also an account that would be talking to or sharing with the Tylee Ryan account, the 3918 account.
What do you mean by talking to?
There'd be transfers of monies from this account into Tylee's account, and also this would be the account that's associated with when the account was closed, when Tylee's account closed.
Okay. Can you look at State's Exhibit 63B?
Is it possible to just take these out so I'm not making a bunch of noise up here and just lay them down flat where I can't see them?
That's fine if you want to do that.
Okay.
Take them out of the envelope and go through the stack.
I like
We're
it.
going to be going through all those records.
63B?
Yes. Okay. I just know this is previously admitted. Detective, what is that document?
This is just a sample portion of the account activity of the 0769 account that Lori has with Charles Vallow. It's dated from 6/10 on the statement, monthly statement, and it runs through, I believe, July of 2019.
Okay. Did you review that account that ended in 0769?
I did.
Did you review all the documents that came in with it?
I did.
Are there regular deposits into the account?
In this account, the deposits were came in through online transactions from another account. The last deposit showing in this account came in July, just shortly after the death of Charles Vallow, and there were no more deposits coming in this account. And the bottom line of the account just kind of dwindles down until the account goes into overdrawn status in November.
Okay. And that, just to clarify, that was the account, a jointly held account by Lori Vallow and Charles Vallow?
Correct.
Thank you. Detective, can you pull out State's Exhibit 63C?
C.
Yes. Can you identify that document?
Yes, this is the signature page for Tylee Ryan's shared account with Lori Vallow for JP Chase Morgan, and the account ends in 3918.
Oh.
I'm sorry, 3918. Yeah.
Or just closer to the microphone, probably. I know it's hard, but they pick up better if you talk right in.
Okay.
Detective, what was the application date on that account?
This account was signed on February 22nd, 2017.
Detective, can you pull out State's Exhibit 63D?
I have two 63Ds.
Do you want to confirm with your witness, Mr.
Yes,
Bud? You can
sir,
approach.
if I can approach.
Yes.
So I have to choose. Yeah. Okay.
Positive life choices.
I was the only one without popcorn the other night. I went and bought some.
63D.
I do.
I just got to mute my mic while I'm making it.
I do.
What is it?
This is a year's worth of banking statements for Tylee Ryan from January 2019 through the end of October of 2019.
Okay, and what was significant about that document to you, or those records?
A couple of things that stand out to me is that this is heavily used, lots of activity on this account. She's making a lot of transactions. She is also showing that she's receiving monthly Social Security stipends. And in the year 2019, she was receiving $1,859 a month. And it also shows that she is making monthly car payments for the Chrysler Jeep.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
As you go through banking records, are you able to tell the difference between what I'm going to call brick and mortar payments and online payments?
Yes.
And are there, can you just briefly describe the level of spending like at brick and mortar type establishments?
In this account, Tylee uses quite a bit of brick and mortar type establishments. She spends a lot of time at convenience stores and fast food restaurants, shopping centers, and those types of things. And that is the overwhelming majority of her spending on this account is with brick and mortar.
Okay. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 63E? Do you have that?
Yes.
What does that document purport to be?
This is the final statement in August into September for Tylee's account, the 3918 account.
What is significant about that document to your investigation?
Well, for the majority of the month of August, you see her making purchases almost on a daily basis and multiple purchases on days. And it also shows her movements. What I mean by that is we know that Tylee and Lori and family moved to Idaho over the weekend of September 1st, as far as our investigation found. And it shows her making purchases up on September 1st. There's her last in-person purchase is showing for two McDonald's restaurants in St. George on the 1st. I need to make a clarification if I can. You see the date in the far left column. That is the posting date. If you look next to the McDonald's purchases, it says 9/1, and that would be the purchase date of the product or transaction.
Okay. Was there any record of any money being deposited into that account after the last date shown on that record?
No. In fact, the last payment for Tylee's Social Security ended in July for this account. The last purchase, our last deposit for Social Security was in July 24th, I believe, of 2019.
Okay.
Oh no.
Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 63F?
But was it good?
But did you die?
you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
This shows a final transaction being conducted on Tylee's account on September 20th.
I think that's what they're going for.
Account had drawn down to $10.04, and this is showing a transaction that was made on 9/20, which was an online transfer to Lori Vallow's JP Chase account 0769.
Was there anything significant about that transaction to you in your investigation?
There was nothing else from Tylee that was done on this account.
Okay. Are you familiar
Typically
with
at 8:45, Mary Kay?
Through your investigation, has there been an established last proof of life by the Rexburg Police Department for Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
And when was that?
Between September 8th and September 9th.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I hope you recover quickly and well.
Your Honor, if I may just briefly inquire, I've gotten a note that the documents might be blurry on the small screens. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure how they're coming up most importantly for the jurors to view.
Absolutely.
So if you want to put one on to publish, and we can inquire whether or not it's legible.
Okay. Detective, can you pull out State's Exhibit 63G?
63G.
I can actually view the witnesses monitor fairly well from
Okay.
here, so maybe that'll help.
You recognize 63G?
I do.
What is that document?
This is an online administration tool that users who bank with JP Chase Morgan can access into their own accounts, and it establishes a personal identification number to each individual that has an account.
So the page that's on your screen right now, can you identify who is identified in that as users of this account?
In that highlighted portion on the top line there, you'll see a user ID for Tylee Ryan.
Okay, and does it give an ID for her? Is there a profile ID or profile number for her?
Yes, underneath where it says online profile in that left-hand column, just down a few spots, it actually gives a profile ID number. And in this case, it ends in 0212.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the witness be handed a pointer so that he can point to the screen to show the jury what he's talking about.
All right, we do have a laser pointer available.
Is this it right here?
If you can repeat what you just said and showing the jury with the pointer what you're talking about.
In this left-hand column, down a few spots, you see a profile ID number, and that's the number right there that ends in 0212, and that's specific to Tylee.
Okay. Did Lori Vallow also have a profile number under this account?
She did.
Okay. Is that identified on the page that's on your screen?
Yes.
JT, you missed everything.
Where is that located again?
So in the highlighted portion again.
Doggone it.
Lori's
Everything.
And down here it has her user ID number.
Did I really?
It's right there, and that's number ends.
No, you missed nothing.
No.
Gail
Detective,
Pett,
knowing
yes.
these profile numbers, what is the significance of that?
We're used to seeing the
It can,
old school ones they've had in the last few trials.
anytime you access your account, or,
They get a fancy one and then we can't even see it.
online.
Dang. I think they should just
Does
get
this document
like
show
a
this
goose
account
and
closing?
just straighten the goose out, or a flamingo like they do in Alice in Wonderland. Straighten it out and then just point.
Can you
Oh, that'd
show
be
the
awesome.
where it shows that?
I have no idea where that came from.
So
Excuse me.
on the
I
bottom
have
half-
flamingos here. I love flamingos, and I have my condo is done in like black and white with pink.
Yeah.
I could use a flamingo pointer.
Oh,
the- right here
we got to get you
shows
one.
a date of 9/20 and a balance of $10.04. And next to it, it says
Lucy was a flamingo for Halloween.
and ending in 3918. And this amount is
Impressive.
transferred.
Stand on one leg.
Over here, it shows it's transferred
tried.
to Lori Vallow's account ending in 0769. It's right down here.
And is there an identifier for who transferred it?
Yes, right here, there's an identifying number
Let's
that
stop.
shows it was completed by the user ID of Lori Vallow.
Thank you. And what was that date again?
September 20th,
Of 2019?
2019, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Why are you whining?
And briefly, Detective, can you look at 63H?
63H.
Do you have that?
Yes.
What is that document?
Certainly
This
more
is
than I make a
the
month.
Statement for October, ending balance of the account showing a zero balance for Tyler Ryan's 3918 account.
Okay, of October 2019.
Correct.
Thank you.
Retriever Mom, yes, it will be published. So if you have to leave us, we will miss you. We will talk bad about you when you
Can you
leave,
look at
but you can watch tomorrow.
Exhibit 63I?
We won't.
We won't
They're
talk
under
bad
the
about
live tab. They're under the live tab of the YouTube channel, not just the regular videos.
Are you
So
familiar
if
with
you
that
don't see
document?
it, go to the live tab.
Yes.
Did you review this document?
I
But
did.
thank
I'm
you for
familiar
hanging
with
out as long as you did.
the account. Wasn't the primary reviewer of this specific account.
What account is this?
This is the shared account for Charles Vallow and Lori Vallow, ending in 0377.
And did you obtain that through a warrant or a subpoena?
I did. This was issued with the original documents that we received.
And did you provide
Good
that
night,
to any other
Marilyn.
law enforcement agency to review?
Yes, to the FBI forensic accountant Michael Douglas.
Okay, thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 64?
You're good, Marilyn. I love y'all so much. Y'all make everything so much better.
You have that.
Be right back.
What is that account? What is that document?
This is the banking account application for Lori Vallow through the BBVA Compass Bank.
Is it a sole account?
It is a sole account. She is the only user.
Okay. When was it opened?
This account was opened in October of 2018.
Okay.
Night, Marilyn.
And you obtained this through a search warrant or through a subpoena?
I did.
What was the significance of this account in your investigation?
Well, one of the main points of this account was this is an account only accessed by Lori, and this account will end up receiving all of the Social Security deposits into this account for Lori's income.
Okay.
So this is all part of the grand theft
What date was that account opened?
part. I don't think she's going to be able to get out of this. There's no way to get out of this.
October 20th of 2018.
Okay, thank you. Detective,
I
can
do
you
not recommend
look at
this.
State's Exhibit 64B? Yes.
Okay.
What is that document?
This is a sample statement, monthly statement for Lori Vallow's 3229 account for BBVA. It runs from, I believe, August through January of 2020.
Okay.
Mr. Wood, sorry to interrupt. I want to clarify where we're at on that particular exhibit with the court's copies. So that was, what did you say it was, 64?
I'm sorry. I think I said 64A. I meant 64B.
Okay. We've got one that's just marked 64. And as long as the witness has got them, these might just be a courtesy copy issue.
This is the best chat. I love this chat.
Well, I'd like to make sure defense has the accurate.
Yeah, let's see if there's sub. So 64's got subparts.
I look forward to this all day.
And does the court have 64B? And if I could inquire of it,
Oh,
they have
I do have.
64B.
I have 64 and 64A. We have 64B. We don't have a 64B.
We brought an extra.
Okay.
Does counsel have a copy of 64B?
Oh, heck yeah. That's exciting. We still have over 200. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
Good night.
Detective, what is State's Exhibit 64B?
This is the monthly sample monthly statement printout for Lori Vallow's BBVA 3229 account from August through January, August 2019 through January of 2020.
Okay. excuse me. I'm going to call your attention to a deposit made on 8/28. Can you see that?
I can.
And I'm going to ask if you can use a pointer to point that out to the jury.
Right here, about the middle of the page, is a deposit for $1,859 from the Social Security Department.
All right. Do you know who that deposit was? Do you know who Social Security benefit that was?
That benefit is assigned to Tylee Ryan.
How do you know that?
Well, in my investigation, I learned when there's multiple deposits made into a single account for people receiving benefits, they're each given us an identifier. And in this case, for Tylee, you see the numbers 4121, and that would be from Tylee's received death benefits from her father, Joe Ryan, when he passed away April 3rd of 2018. And this is the last four numbers of the decedent's Social Security number. And then there's a designation C1, and that stands for child. So she's a child receiving benefits for the decedent's correction of Joe Ryan.
Okay. And your investigation, is this the first deposit of Social Security into this deposit, or I apologize, into this account?
Yes.
And where was Tylee Ryan receiving her Social Security before this?
As previously stated, she was receiving money into her account that she shared with her mother from the Chase Morgan account, the 3918 account.
Okay. And this account was a sole account for Lori Vallow, correct?
Correct.
What date, I believe I already asked, but what date was that deposit made?
On the 28th of August.
What was significant to you in reviewing these records about that date?
It was right before the family moved to Idaho. And also we had learned that on or about August 20th, Lori Vallow had contacted the Social Security Administration and requested to have Tylee's direct deposit from the JP Chase Morgan account
Missed all the things
changed to this
all of them
personal account of Lori Vallow.
Okay. Was there any other significance of that to you?
Let me get this dang dog. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to call your attention to a deposit made. It's on the third page of the document if you want to turn to it.
Okay.
That's why we have two people, you see.
A deposit made on September 18th.
Okay.
Try. You could use a pointer. There's two deposits made that day. Can you describe those?
Yes, they're showing two deposits on September 18th from the Social
Some
Security
jelly
Administration.
beans.
One is for the amount of $3,902, and the one right below
No,
is
she is not.
a deposit
In
for
fact, I don't think that the insanity
$4,157.
plea is an option.
Okay. And are you able to identify what those
Somebody correct me if
deposits
I'm wrong.
are, where they come from?
Yes.
How can you describe
Thank
that?
you.
Again, when there's multiple deposits coming into an account from Social Security, they give each account a special designation ID number. In this case, we have the last four of the decedent Charles Vallow's Social Security number. His Social Security number was 436029801, and then we have the designated C1 for the child. In this case, it would be for JJ Vallow.
Okay. And are those the regular monthly payments?
No, this is the first installment. So when she applied for her benefits in August of 2018, this is sort of back pay that she gets from when they generated their paperwork.
Okay. Detective, and so that deposit was made September 18th.
Correct.
Are you familiar through your investigation with the Rexford Police Department when the last known proof of life for JJ Vallow is?
Pertinent to our investigation, JJ was killed 5 days later. 5 and 6 days later.
Detective, you mentioned earlier that this account, this BBVA account ending in 3229, received from August on all the Social Security payments.
Yes.
Okay. And you've reviewed this document for those payments.
Yes.
Detective, did you prepare a chart that summarizes, or I shouldn't say summarizes, but demonstrates the deposits of Tylee Ryan's Social Security? Let me re-ask this. Did you prepare a chart that demonstrates all of Tylee Ryan's Social Security deposits?
Yes.
Does that include both the JP Morgan account and the JP Chase account and this BBVA account?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do that to aid the jury in understanding when those accounts were, or when those deposits were made?
Yes.
Does it label the banks to which the deposits were made?
Yes.
Did you prepare that in anticipation of testifying today?
Yes.
And do you believe that would aid the jury in understanding the deposit history for Tylee Ryan's Social Security payments?
Yes.
It's my love language.
Yes.
Detective, did you look at
Probably why I'm single.
Exhibit 84?
I don't know. There's a lot of people in this chat and online that seem to like these charts. So you know what I mean? Like your people.
It's my love language.
That is why you are chart lady cult leader.
Chart lady cult leader.
Apparently that's my name now too.
Yes.
Is this the demonstrative chart that I've just been talking to you about?
Yes.
Did you include any other information on that chart?
I included the money's being deposited into the J.P. Morgan and Chase for Tylee, and then also showing the money's
Night,
being
Deanna.
Let us know how it
transferred
goes.
over to Lori Vallow's account after she contacts Social Security.
All right. And did you verify the amounts on this account against the actual records?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that for demonstrative purposes that State's Exhibit 84 be entered into evidence.
Any objection from the defense?
That's awesome.
As a summary, no, I don't object.
Okay, it's admitted not as evidence, but as a demonstrative exhibit.
May I publish?
You may.
And I will eat them all.
Oh, I haven't had blooming onion in so long.
Right.
Detective, can you just explain how you made that chart?
Sure. So this legend up here for reference, the purple colors is specific to the monies deposited into Tylee's J.P. Chase Morgan account, the 3918 account. The darker colored square is monies that were deposited into Lori Vallow's BBVA account 3229. And this box here with the hash marks in just reflects the deposits being made for the month where and the one in August and the one in September here just reflected they were deposits being made. But as you see here on September 8th, we believe that that was the last proof of life for Tylee, and she was no longer living after those dates.
Okay. Detective, did you, similar to that chart, did you make a similar chart for J.J. Vallow's survivor benefits and Lori Vallow's mother and care benefits?
Yes.
Similarly, did you make that in preparation for testifying today?
Yes.
Can you look at State's Exhibit 85?
85?
Yes. And Detective, did you list the entirety of deposits for J.J. Vallow's Social Security deposits?
Yes.
Did you do the same for Lori Vallow?
I did.
Okay. And did you match these against the BBVA records we've been speaking about?
Yes.
And do you believe it would aid the jury in demonstrating when those payments were made?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that for demonstrative purposes only, that State's Exhibit 85 be entered into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit 85
Terry
is
K, we're here for you.
exhibit, not as evidence.
Yes.
May I publish?
You may.
Detective, can you describe how you made that chart?
Sure. Again, as I did with the last one, the color identifiers.
Well, isn't
depicting,
that
the account of
special?
both JJ and Lori and their
Oh, I
deposit
loved. That's so funny. I loved Charlie.
for JJ.
I'd do the
deposit
dance,
monies,
but
the
that's
darker
probably
color would be
inappropriate
for
right now.
Lori. And the hash marks here show that
I don't know. It's after midnight.
deposit made for September, and then
Your
that's
time
fair.
anyway. My
Third
time
of
is still 11.
23rd.
Eric
from
Clapton said
22nd,
after
23rd
midnight we're going to
September.
let it all
Three
hang
days
out.
Whoa! It's you're gonna get me
Not like
banned
that.
off.
It's not that kind of show, y'all.
Also shows that Charles Vallow died in
I'd
September.
like us to keep our
correction.
channel. Thank you
He
very
died
much.
in July 11th of 2019
I'm
in
looking
Arizona.
to see if we can get the.
Applied for the survivor
exhibits.
benefits, received them, and then it shows the last proof of life, and then for JJ, and then it shows the monthly deposits for October, and then this box here is just a note that on November 5th, Lori Vallow married Chad Daybell in Hawaii,
Quotes.
and she was continued to receive the benefits through January of 2020, and the last box just denotes that on June 9th.
She from
we
Georgia?
found.
I am from Georgia. I live in Florida now.
JJ Tyler.
I moved to the beach. Kicked my youngin' out when he turned 19.
This is the.
Your Honor, we're at a point, kind of a changing point in the testimony. I wonder if this might be a time to take a break, or if you'd like us to continue for a few more minutes.
He literally broke down.
Yeah, we'll go till 3:30. So if you'd like to take the mid-afternoon break now, and it's a logical
prosecution
place to
called
break,
it
we can do that.
break.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll take our mid-afternoon recess.
All right, please.
So y'all brought up some good points. The fact that she was transferring money, and I know it's on the timeline. I think it was August something, where she starts transferring their money into her bank account. And then, and then they're dead soon after. I mean, that's premeditation if I ever did see it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Miss Wildside, he did break down at that point, and the prosecution said, "Yep, let's take a break," which I commend them for, honestly.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can. I'm trying to pull up a picture of the chart. If anybody sees it, you can send it to us.
Mr. Wood, you can continue with your direct examination. I'll remind the officer you're still under oath for purposes of your testimony, and you can inquire, Mr. Wood.
Thank you. Detective, can you review State Exhibit 65A?
Bless his heart.
Are you familiar with that document?
I am.
May I publish this to the jury?
Yes.
What is that document?
This is the account application for the joint account shared with Lori Vallow and Tyler Ryan for BBVA account number 5794.
Okay, you testified earlier about another joint account between Lori and Tyler, correct?
Yes.
And this is a separate joint account?
Correct.
Okay. And through what institution is this account held?
Through BBVA.
Okay. When was this account opened?
This account was opened on August 19th of 2019.
Okay.
Mr. Archibald must have gotten really excited about all this tax bank money talk.
Mm-hmm.
Detective, will you look at State's Exhibit?
Your Honor, my counsel approach.
Yes.
I don't think they published this chart to all of us people. I think it was just for the jury. I can't find it on any of the stuff.
All right, we're back on the record. We just had a brief sidebar concerning the existence of some personal identifier information that may be contained in these exhibits, which the jurors are permitted to review, but we'll try to avoid disclosing some of that identifier information out to the public in testimony, and the court will further review whether redactions are required if at any point these exhibits are released into the file. So with that in mind, Mr. Wood, you can continue with your examination.
Thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 65B?
Betsy, I think she swapped the money from that was going into the kid's account, and she swapped it to go into her account a month before that.
Statement for Tylee for the August and into September of 2019. It shows the date the account was opened on the 19th, and it shows transactions through the 16th of September.
In your investigation, what was significant about this page?
So as stated earlier, the previous account of Tylee's, the 3918, when they were moving, the family was moving from Utah to Idaho, or correction, Arizona to Idaho. It kind of tracked Tylee's location as she was spending out of this account. It showed that she makes a couple of purchases in
For
Arizona.
him, I meant it real.
As they're moving, there's 3 purchases that were made on the 1st of September. And again, if you look at the left-hand column, this is going to be the posting date. But if you look inside here, there's 3 purchases. There's one in Fillmore, Utah, Perry, Utah, and Wickiup.
That's fascinating, Dean.
Depict that the sales were made on September 1st.
Just for the record, can you spell Wickiup?
Wickiup. Let me find it here again. It's WikieUP as in Paul.
Thank you. Thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 65C?
65C.
And what is that?
These are the monthly bank statements for Tylee's BBVA account starting from August of 2019 through January, I believe, of 2020. Let me just, yes.
Okay. Detective, we spoke earlier about Tylee's JP Chase spending account and about spending in brick and mortar stores and online payments. What is the general nature of the spending on this account?
The overwhelming majority past September 1st is everything was done online as far as spending on this account.
After September 1st, were there any in-person purchases at all?
We were able to find two in-person purchases. One was on September 17th, and that was in Rexburg, Idaho, at a Costa Vida Mexican restaurant. And the second purchase was at a Costa Vida Mexican restaurant located in Idaho Falls, and that was October 7th. Other than that, all these purchases were made online.
Okay. And what are the deposits into the account like? Where do those come from?
So as we know, Tylee is no longer receiving her Social Security benefit into this account. It's going into her mother's account.
Well, to clarify, Detective, did Tylee ever receive Social Security into the joint BBVA account?
No, she did not.
Which account did she receive it in initially?
Those monies went into Lori Vallow's account, the 3229 account.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry I interrupted you though. I had asked you what the nature of deposits into this account were.
So if you look on the inside column, this column here will be the deposit column. And as you go through the statements, the first one was for $60 and then $80. So on the September 10th and 16th, respectively. And those monies were deposited into this account they were transferred from Lori's BBVA account into Tylee's BBVA account. So the money that's coming into Tylee's account is from her mother's account.
Okay. Was there anything else significant in the expenditures on this account to your investigation?
Yeah, so the money that was coming in from Lori's account, you see the $60 on the 10th there, and it's then immediately Venmo'd out, and we were able to show that those Venmos went to Colby Ryan, Lori's son.
Okay. And do you know how many deposits and then Venmos there are on that account?
Yes, looking through just this from August to through January, there are 29 deposits into Tylee's account from Lori's account, and then they were turned around and monies were sent out to Colby on those same days.
Okay. So, Detective, just to clarify, you testified earlier about Tylee's joint account with Lori with JP Chase, and this is Tylee's joint account with Lori on BBVA.
Correct.
And as part of your investigation, did you compare and contrast the nature of the spending, expenditures, and deposits on the two accounts?
Yes.
How do they compare to each other?
They are complete opposites.
How so?
Whereas the Tylee's account for the Chase Morgan account, she is very active in that account, making daily purchases, and they are all in person for the most part, overwhelmingly in person purchases. This account, you can see as they were heading up the valley from Arizona into Idaho, her last in person stops in Utah, and from then on, it's the overwhelming majority. Everything is done online,
Okay.
which is opposite of what her spending habits were with the other account.
Thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 66A?
Okay.
Your Honor, in light of our recent sidebar, there are three different Social Security numbers on these accounts, and so I'm going to attempt to, if it's all right with the court and counsel, just publish but not show those numbers.
I agree with that, Mr. Wood. That's fine if you want to try to avoid having the entire Social Security number revealed.
And The court could give us 1 second, Your Honor. That's how I was trying to do that. It's very ineffective. So I'm going to walk over and grab those sticky notes. Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibit 66A?
Yes.
What is that?
This is a credit card application account for Charles and Lori Vallow through the Barclays Bank. It's a Hawaiian Airlines credit card.
Okay. And do you know when they applied for that?
This was the one ending in 064 shows the application date of 9/24 of 2015.
Okay. Can you look at application 52471125?
Okay.
When was that applied for?
On the same date, 9/24 of 2015.
Okay. And then application 5655662600.
This shows a date of April 19th of 2016.
And who were these applications for?
This was a joint credit card between Lori Vallow and her then husband, Charles Vallow.
Thank you. Rebecca, can you look at State's Exhibit 66B?
66B.
We're getting down to like the last 20 minutes, y'all.
What is that document?
This is a monthly statement for the Hawaiian Airlines Barclays credit card for this account that we just looked at.
Okay. Was there, in your investigation, was there anything significant about the information you found on this page?
There are two.
Okay. What are they?
It shows it. You can see that the card for Charles Vallow ended in 0991, and the card activity for card ending in 6611 was associated to Lori Vallow. There are two transactions of note. On the July 12th, this would be the day after Charles Vallow was died in Arizona. She makes a $3,000 plus payment to the Valley of the Sun Mortuary in Chandler.
Okay. Detective, in your investigation, have you had an opportunity to listen to any recordings made by the Valley of the Sun Mortuary?
I have.
What was the nature of that phone call?
The nature of the phone call was asking about pricing for funeral services.
Okay. And do you know who placed that phone call?
I do.
Who was it?
Voice on the recordings, Chad Daybell.
Okay. Thank you. What was the second item of note on this statement?
Down towards the bottom of the page, you'll see for July 20th, a round trip airfare was purchased on this card for Lori Vallow for Chad Daybell from Provo, Utah, round trip down to IWA, which is Phoenix Mesa, and back to Provo, Utah.
Okay. And again, what was the date of that purchase?
Showing July 20th.
Okay.
Through Allegiant Airlines.
And through your knowledge and investigation, was Chad Daybell married at the time of that flight?
He was.
Thank you. Who was he married to?
To Tammy Daybell.
Thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 66C?
Okay.
What is that document?
Always eating.
The document is a monthly statement form for the Barclays MasterCard of Alex Cox. And this is the account that Lori has shared with her brother Alex.
Okay. How do you know she shared it?
So on the monthly statement form, it shows purchase activities.
Brandi.
And in reviewing these documents, you see February shows Alex only. And then as we were looking through them more, then we came across, we found a card that was being assigned to Lori Vallow.
Can you describe what you see on this page of that document?
So this is the March monthly statement form for.
Not quite sure how I could sound like
account
more of a
held by Alex
chipmunk
Cox
than I already do, but
purchase activity for Lori Vallow for
that'll be
card
fun
ending
at
in the last 49259.
Okay. And for your investigation, was there anything of note that you found on this page?
Sure. We know that purchases were made for round trip airfare for Tylee back in March for her and her friend, Brianna Gill. They flew round trip from Phoenix to Hawaii. And then later on down, we have March 14th, there's a purchase for round trip airfare from Allegiant Airlines that was purchased for Chad Daybell from Idaho Falls, Idaho to Phoenix Mesa, and then back to Idaho Falls.
And what year were those purchases made in?
These were made in 2019, in early 2019 March.
So in March. So that was before Charles Vallow was killed?
Correct.
And pursuant to your knowledge and investigation, was Lori Vallow still married to him at that time?
Yes.
And Chad Daybell was married to Tammy Daybell?
Correct.
Did you find any indication that Charles Vallow had a card on this account?
He did not.
Okay. Can you look at State's Exhibit 67A?
Lucy's snoring.
Are you familiar with that document?
Yes,
Did you serve a subpoena or a warrant to obtain that document?
I did.
Okay. And did you review the contents of what you received from that subpoena and warrant?
I'm familiar with the documents, but I was not the primary reviewer of this account.
Did you provide them to any other law enforcement agency to review?
Yes, through forensic accountant Michael Douglas of the FBI.
Okay, thank you. Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 63B? Are you familiar with that document?
I am.
Did you review it as part of your investigation?
I was familiar with the document. Was not the primary reviewer of this document.
Did you provide that document to any other law enforcement agency?
Yes, provided it to forensic accountant Michael Douglas of the FBI.
Thank you.
You say Michael Douglas?
Sounded like it.
That's kind of
Detective,
cool.
can you look at State's Exhibit 68?
I like Michael Douglas.
What is that?
This is the, I don't have what's on the screen depicted as, I don't have that in my possession.
Can the bailiff hand to the witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 68?
Yes.
Thank you.
Does the defense have that? Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I have that document back. I think.
James, that sounds perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, may I approach the defense very quickly?
Yeah, that's fine, Mr. Wood.
Have you heard anything about who's going to be on the stand tomorrow? I don't think I have.
I haven't.
It's 2-for-1 margarita lunch tomorrow. I'm going with my mama, so I'll be prepared for tomorrow night.
Pre-trialing.
Pre-trialing.
Your Honor, I'm going to make sure the defense has a copy of that before we do anything with that document. We'll circle back to it later.
All right, so that's Exhibit 68, correct?
Well, it should have been marked as 68A.
Okay.
So we will correct that and make sure the court has a correct copy as well.
All right.
Detective, can you look at what's been marked as State's Exhibit 82A?
82A?
Yes. What is that document?
That document is the rental application that Lori Vallow filled out and applied for housing for the Rock Creek townhomes from Blue Sky property.
Okay. Have you reviewed this document?
I have.
Was there anything of note on it to you?
There was.
What was that?
Well, two things stood out. When this application was filled out, I believe in August, mid to late August, I don't have the document in front of me, but it depicts Lori stating that her income is $5,740. And that number is reached if you were to add all of the Social Security deposit monies that she was receiving from Tylee herself and JJ. It adds up to that sum.
Okay, and is that found on this page?
Yes. Right down here in the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay. And does that document list her income as being through Social Security?
It does.
Okay. Where is that?
It's directly across from the deposit number.
Okay. Was there anything else on that page that caught your attention?
Yes.
What was it?
Right above that and under the part where it says reason for leaving, it reads, bringing children to attend BYUI. My daughter graduated high school at 16 and wants to attend BYUI, but is too young to live alone. So I'm coming with her, relocating.
Thank you.
Betsy, I'm down for the virtual tailgate. I'll get in chat early tomorrow.
About Lori Vallow and Colby Ryan's financial accounts. Did you review any other financial accounts as a part of your investigation?
I did.
What other financial accounts did you review?
I reviewed some financial records pertaining to her brother Alex.
Earlier, you showed a document listing out Lori Vallow and Colby Ryan's accounts that you had prepared for demonstrative purposes.
Yes.
Did you prepare a similar document for Alex Cox's financial documents that you've reviewed?
I did.
Did you do that to aid you or to aid the jury in understanding which documents or which financial documents pertain to Alex Cox?
Yes.
And did you do that in preparation for testimony?
Yes.
Can you look at States Exhibit 69?
Okay.
Is this that same demonstrative list we've been speaking about in regards to Alex Cox?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that for demonstrative purposes only that States Exhibit 69 be entered into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
May I publish?
Yes, that exhibit's admitted not as evidence, but as a demonstrative exhibit.
Detective, can you just tell the jury what accounts you and documents you reviewed in regards to Alex Cox's financials?
So this is a financial account attribution list for Alex. We obtained documents from financial institutions. The ones that are pertinent, we believe, are listed here. The top one is for Desert Financial Credit Union. It's a personal account. The account number is 7175. We spoke of the Barclays joint account that she shared with her sister Lori Vallow. There's also a lending club loan that Alex received. There's a Mercury MasterCard, and that card ends in 2400. There's Wells Fargo personal account, 8968 is the last four of that. And there was 2 Capital One credit cards associated to Mr. Cox and the Mountain America Credit Union account 3137.
Okay, thank you. Detective, can you look at States Exhibit 70A?
Okay.
Are you familiar with that document?
Yes.
What is it?
These are the account application for Desert Financial Credit Union for Alex Cox.
And did you review this document? Or did you review the Desert Financial Bank records?
Yes.
What in those records was of significance to you in your investigation? What in those records was significant to you in your investigation?
Well, the documents on the bank statements shows that Alex was receiving steady monthly income. He worked for Heritage Environmental in Arizona, and he would receive 3 paychecks a month, and it was on a very regular basis.
What she said in chat.
And did those payments ever stop?
Those payments stopped in August of 2019. I believe then that Alex quit his job and moved to Idaho with his sister and J.J. Tiley.
Okay. What else was significant in that account?
Right before in early August, I believe it was the 9th, Alex received a $21,000 deposit into this account from Lending Club.
Okay. And is there anything else of significance?
The account shows that Alex began making purchases for firearms and firearms-related items, accessories.
And approximately when does that start?
It starts in August, early August.
Of what year?
Of 2019.
Okay. And is that different from the rest of the account?
Yes.
Okay.
So he started buying firearms in August.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think upwards of 40
What is that
in
document?
the end.
This is the loan application for Lending Club for the loan Alex received, $21,000.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And when did he, does that have the application date?
Showing August 8th of 2019.
Okay. And then you testified that that amount was deposited into his Desert Financial account, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else of significance about his application?
Yes, he states for the reason for the loan was personal medical
Nothing says
expenses.
Jesus like gunpowder
Throughout
and
your
lead.
investigation, did you find any significant medical expenditures between the time of that loan and the time he died in December?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Look, even my nanny is a member of the NRA, so I can't really. Guns are a big thing in my family, but they hunt
it's
a lot.
okay. I think
72A.
it has a lot to do with
Okay.
how
Do you recognize that document?
I do.
intense.
Did you
these
serve a warrant
folks
or
were.
a subpoena to obtain those records?
I did.
And did you review those records?
I'm familiar with those records, but I was not the primary reviewer.
I
of
mean,
those
were they
records.
pulling?
Did you
a
provide those
Waco?
records to another law
Were they
enforcement
planning
agency?
on a
Yes.
Who was that?
Forensic
overtake?
accountant
Like,
Michael
you know what I
Douglas,
mean?
the
Like
FBI.
that's
Okay.
For
that's
that
Waco
much in
level.
such a yeah.
Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 73A?
73A.
But
Are you
they
familiar with that document?
this whole thing
Yes.
is they're
Did you
wanting
serve
to
a warrant
buy.
or a subpoena to obtain those records?
Yes.
And did you review those records?
I'm familiar
Brandon
with the record.
Boudreaux said that
Did you
Melanie
provide
was
these to
wanting
Mike
to
Douglas at the
buy
FBI as well?
10,000's worth of food and food storage stuff for the into the world. Boca.
Okay, can you look at State's Exhibit 74A?
Okay.
Are you
I
familiar
really
with that
think this
document?
is like an end of the world. I
What is
think
it?
it was a
It's
wake
an application
too.
for a
Yeah.
Capital One credit card in the name of Alex Cost.
Did you
I
review
think they
those
stopped
records?
them at
I
the
obtained the
wrong
records, I'm familiar with them, but I
right
did not.
time, if you know
I
what
was
I mean.
not the
Wrong,
primary
right,
reviewer of
wrong.
these documents.
Did you provide those documents to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
I did.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby Hansen.
You pull 74B, State's Exhibit 74B.
Okay.
And what is that?
This is a second application to Capital One for a credit card in the name of Alexander Cox.
Did you review those records?
I obtained the records, but I was not the primary reviewer of these.
Similarly, did you provide those to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
Yes.
For real.
Detective, can you look at State's Exhibit 75A?
Geraldine, you're the well
Are you familiar with those
advocate.
records?
Call you advocate. You're the best.
Did you obtain those through a warrant or through a subpoena?
Yes,
Did you provide those documents to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
I did.
Thank you.
Hey, Baker's that $10
Detective, in reviewing
argument about food survival.
Alex Cox's financial information, specifically the Desert Financial, did you prepare a demonstrative chart to show a timeline of his financial records and
It
spending?
better have
Yes.
been.
Did you do that in anticipation of testifying?
Yes.
And is that chart also a timeline?
Yes.
Did you do that to aid the jury in
Every
understanding the timeline of some of his banking and the events of this case?
Yes.
Can you look at State's Exhibit 86?
Y'all, we are at 202 in chat right now, and we're getting towards the end. And I'm like, I want to end with more than 200. We're so close. Chipmunk speed. We're at 1.5, I think.
Christmas time of year.
It's just all them long breaks they take.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, we're at the very
Is
end.
that the document you and I have just been discussing?
Yes.
And do you
Here's a
believe that would
question
aid
for
the
everybody.
jury in understanding the
Like
timeline
that.
and financials of Alex Cox?
Yes.
Your Honor,
If
for
we were to
demonstrative
cover
purposes
another
only, I
trial,
ask
but
that
an
State's
older
Exhibit
one.
86 be entered into evidence.
Where we
Any
could
objection?
No, Your
clean
Honor.
up audio,
Exhibit
or
86
cut
can be
out these
admitted
breaks,
as a
or
demonstrative
anything like
exhibit.
that.
It's not evidence.
May I publish for the jury?
Yes.
Do you have
Can you
any
describe
ideas of what you'd like to see
what you
covered?
created on this chart?
Yes, this chart just
Preferably
depicts
something that
from
RA
February
is
7th,
either not going to
2019
do or
through
hasn't
August
done because we don't
25th
want
of
to
2019, just a sample
compete,
statement from his monthly
because
statements
that's
to the bank account of 7175.
what we want to
It
do.
shows that he had a steady, regular income where he's, you'll see he averages around $4,000 to $7,000 as a regular basis for his account balance. So he's appears to be very responsible, very active in this account. And from September 1st, he quit his job and moved to Idaho. And he had no regular income. after
Dusty
that.
Dan, yeah, it's hard to focus on the financial stuff when it's just audio. So,
You see,
like
I
with
was-
the Murdaugh stuff, that's kind of why
This is
I
the
got
last-
so involved in that one, because they were given all the audio, and then I made my charts, and because there was so much, not the financial necessarily, but the time stuff. But the
You see
data
the-
dumps
timeline
are
shows
hard when it's just audio.
according to his account
Yep.
review, it makes 46 gun-related purchases on this account. And the last box above the timeline from November 13th, Alex actually opened up a Mountain America Credit Union account with put about $4,000 into that account. And then the last box indicates the day that Alex died, December 12th of 2019.
Detective, as part of your investigation, did you review financial records for Chad Daybell?
I obtained documents for Mr. Daybell. I did for this case, correct?
Okay. Are those documents that you testified earlier that you handed multiple documents over to Mike Douglas of the FBI? Is that the documents you obtained for Chad Daybell? Is that something you did with many of those?
Yes.
Okay. But did you write warrants and serve subpoenas and obtain documents on financial documents for Chad Daybell?
I did.
Okay. You've provided 2 lists so far called financial account attribution lists, one for Lori and Tylee, one for Alex Cox. Did you prepare a similar list for the documents you received for Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Okay. Did you prepare that in anticipation of testifying today?
Dean,
yes.
Can you send that
Can you
to
look
one
at
of us
States
from
Exhibit
Twitter?
76?
We'll look at adding that to one of our.
Did you
shows
prepare
coming up.
that document to aid the jury just in understanding which accounts exist that contain this financial information for Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Your Honor, for demonstrative purposes only, I would ask that States Exhibit 76 be admitted into evidence.
No, Your Honor.
All right, again, this will be admitted as a demonstrative exhibit. It's not evidence.
May I publish?
Yes.
Can you just briefly tell the jury what accounts you obtained records for?
I obtained records for Chad Daybell through Mountain America Credit Union. There's 2 accounts associated with this. It's a joint account that he shared with Tammy Daybell, his wife, and Spring Creek Book Company, which was Chad's business. Also, there's records obtained from First Hawaiian Bank on a personal account for Chad. There was a Citibank credit card that Chad received, a Wells Fargo Visa card, and there was a joint Capital One credit card account for Chad and Tammy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Can you look at States Exhibit 77A?
77A?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you recognize that document?
I do.
Did you
I know that's
receive
right.
this document through a warrant or subpoena?
Yes.
Did you provide this document to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
Yes.
He did it again. Michael Douglas of the FBI.
Can you look at States Exhibit 77B?
Okay.
What is that document?
This is a
Oh, we're on
Mountain
TV.
America
Look, Ma, we made it.
application for Spring Creek Book Company.
What is Spring Creek Book Company?
Spring Creek Book Company is the Chad Daybell is the owner of the Spring Creek Book Company.
What does that company do? Do you know?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what that company does?
They publish books.
Okay. And did you receive these documents by warrant or subpoena?
Yes.
Did you provide them to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
I did.
Dean Sparks, I think that too. Something's up with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you look at States Exhibit 78A?
Okay.
Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
Did you receive this document by warrant or subpoena?
I did.
Did you provide it to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
Yes.
Yeah, that was way too big of a coincidence, especially right after
Can you look at States Exhibit
they were
79A?
exhuming Tammy and everything.
Did you receive? Do you know what that document is?
This is a credit card application for Citibank in the name of Chad Daybell.
And did you receive that by warrant or subpoena?
Yes.
And did you provide it to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
I did.
Thank you, Diana. I'm glad you're here.
80A.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that document?
I am.
Did you receive that by, what is it?
It's a Visa card for Wells Fargo in the name of Chad Daybell.
Okay. And did you receive those records by warrant or subpoena?
Yes.
And did you provide those to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
I did.
Mike Douglas of the FBI.
A copy of that. I just wanted to make sure we
Need to
were
look into
clear on the
that,
record on that being
actually.
80A.
I'm interested to
80A.
figure that out.
Does the defense have a
Me
copy?
too.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Do we have another copy?
Oh.
Good night.
Thanks, Gail.
Thanks for hanging out.
So I just pulled up.
Maybe
I
should
pulled
be
up
the
live updates from East Idaho
business records
News.
affidavit?
Yes, it is.
It's kind of moment by
Okay, we
moment.
got it.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Mr. Wood.
Figured
Sorry.
everybody was looking for kind of a visual of what was going on. Hopefully, this kind of sums it up and helps out a little bit.
Detective, can you pull what's been marked as States Exhibit 81A?
Okay.
Did you recognize that document?
Yes.
What are they? Or those documents?
Credit card statements for Capital One, Chad
Okay.
Daybell.
And did you receive those by warrant or subpoena?
Yes.
And did you provide those to Mike Douglas of the FBI?
Yes.
Yeah, it was blood clot that caused pulmonary
Your Honor,
embolism.
inquire, did the
Did I say
state
that right?
submit State's
Yeah.
Exhibit 82?
I do not
We
see
have
that one on the
amazing
list.
and dedicated mods already. It's so great. Thank you.
Literally the best.
Detective Considis, do you have a State's Exhibit 82?
I do.
May I inquire if the defense has it? Your Honor, State's Exhibit 82 is an affidavit of records custodian for Blue Sky Property Management. I'd ask that that and its accompanying records be admitted into evidence.
Any objection from the defense?
I've already seen Exhibit 82 numbered as something else.
Your Honor, I'll meet with counsel after court today and verify that, and we'll recircle back to that.
All right, let me have a brief sidebar with counsel, Mr. Wood.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's the sidebar. Oh, look, stretching legs. Everybody get up and stretch.
All right, Mr. Wood, based on a sidebar, let me see where we left off in terms of, it was 82, and I think it had been offered. I don't know if a ruling had been made on that.
I don't believe it had. 82A had already come in. 82 is the affidavit of records custodian. Just wanted to make sure that was in the record.
Okay, and 82A,
like it.
I think has been referenced, but
It has.
may not have actually been admitted yet.
So yeah, it needs 82 and 82A need to be admitted by way of.
I'll
the
cast
business
them
record.
out.
Okay, I'm going to suggest we'll clean up these issues on these exhibits. We've gone through a lot of exhibits today. We're towards the end of our trial time for the day, and in order to allow additional time for the clerks to go through, I think we'll go ahead and call it a day for now and resume again at the morning, 8:30, and we'll take some time to allow counsel to make sure the record's clear in terms of what's been admitted.
Hi,
At this time.
Justice Jane. I'm
Testimony
just
for
seeing
this
some of this
afternoon.
chat.
I just want.
Woo! What a day.
What a day. I laughed. I cried in front of everybody.
We're
And
human.
that's okay. Yeah. It's the kid stuff. It's the kid stuff that gets me. So I laughed uncontrollably at the beginning with all of our portal and zombie and weirdness, all of the funny stuff. So, and then of course we had to have our emotional moments too. And then all the other stuff. But thanks for hanging out with us and sticking it out.
You reach out, go to Twitter, reach out. You can reach out to us there. You can reach out to us to our emails. I'll put that up in a second. Brandy's going to pop up a post in the morning time for you to post pictures of things that make you happy. And then I will retweet that so you can comment on that too. Either way, it'll work. It'll be nice. So when things get heavy, we can kind of look at some things for y'all. So thank you very much, everybody. Reach out to us if you need anything. Like, subscribe, share. I hate to be that guy, but it helps.
Not me. Like, subscribe, share. We're excited about it. I don't hate to be that guy.
Yes, 100%.
I'm not asking you to join
everybody,
my cult.
What? Yeah. No cult?
Not yet.
Brother Brewmeister says yes, but
Thanks, y'all. Thank you for hanging out.
Have a good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.
What she said. I just kind of doubled it. It's what we do.
Hey, high five.
Bye, everybody.
High five.